Hey guys, so I'm going to be doing something a little bit different for the end of the year. I don't think I really did anything much for like New Year's specials, but I thought this was a good idea. So a guy named Flamium, let me double check that. Flamium, there you go. Flamium had the idea of reacting, of me reacting to all of my songs that I made in 2019. So I thought might as well do it live. As you can see, the chat is over here. So yeah, if you guys also want to check out me streaming, you can check it out in the description below. But besides that, let's get to it. Whew, wow, so this is my first song of 2019, my remix of the Disappearance of Hatsune Miku. Yeah, let's just get right to it. Oh yeah, I forget when I started using this intro with the DJ Joe symbol like that. I probably shouldn't do full screen like that, it's fine. Yeah, but yeah, this is the background picture I used was just an art I found on, I think it was on Twitter. I think I found it on Twitter, but yeah, I just took it, put a red overlay over it just to make it look edgy, and boom. But yeah, initially listening to this song, it was like a really it's really fast, obviously. It's like 240-ish. But there comes to a point when it goes too fast and you go halftime, it becomes a house song. So I had the idea of making it like a house remix just by the tempo. So it ended up being pretty awesome. Like I had a lot of fun using a bunch of different like sound design wubs and different things in different sections. I didn't want to go too hammer at the beginning just so I could save space to go, even more insane towards the end because this song has a huge ending. Yeah, so this part, I had breakbeats. I had an effect that made the vocals repeat itself over and over again. If I re-rendered the song again another time, the reactions to the specific plugin would be different again. So I just I didn't really render it out multiple times to see which one I like. I just kind of did it and like, that sounds good. But yeah, overall it has a really nice effect on it, but I feel like it's still a little bit loud for me. Love this chorus. It's so catchy. It was one of the first Oakwood songs I listened to. It left a lasting impact on me. I think when I saw this song at first, it was the live version a long time ago. I feel like it was like in 2012. Yeah. I wanted to incorporate the trap drums in there somehow without actually making it a fully trap, like a realized trap genre, like kind of a hybrid trap, and then it went straight to trap. Right here. Hey. There it is again, the effect I was talking about earlier. Man, the translation to this pretty intense. Hey. Want to change up the pace a little bit here. This part, whenever I showed this song to a lot of people, all my friends and stuff like that was like their favorite. That specific section there was like their favorite part. So I feel like I should have extended that, but by the time I showed it to them, it was already uploaded, so it was a little too late. That little section before the chorus every single time. So, okay, so if you listen to the original song and you see the subtitles for it and the Romaji for it, like you cannot, like what's written and what's heard is like not the same at all. So I just kind of like put in a bunch of random stuff that I thought I heard and then heavily distorted it so it sounded similar to what the original sounded like, because it was just like a big jumbled mess of distortion and you couldn't really understand what she was saying anyways. So I just kind of like bullshitted it there a little bit. But I mean, like in the original you could hardly understand her anyways, so I wasn't really worried too much about the clarity there. Yeah, you hear like the really fast triplet double bass there. In the original song, yeah, of course the drums are going like the double bass is going on there. But that doesn't really translate well with a remix. So I just kind of put it in there in the background, but still having the halftime feel. So it isn't something that's full forward in the mix. So I wanted to kind of have an homage to the original, how it originally sounded like in the chorus, but not have it too intense because it is the chorus, and I want the drops and the build up towards the end to be the big big finish. So I wanted to add the double bass in there just as a little like sentiment for the original. Bring back the breakbeats, and then I wanted to go as fast as possible here. Inspiration for this part is Virtual Self's, I forget what it was. But one of the Virtual Self parts where virtual self songs were. Hold on, let me double check that before. I just so you can get the reference I'm talking about. Virtual self. Okay. Eon Break. So the Eon Break song towards the end was a bunch of kicks happening, and then the song's kind of building up to the end. But underneath the kicks is just a long, loud like bass going on, like long chords, like it's the big vibes and a bunch of kicks happening. So I wanted to kind of have that happen. So I made sure to EQ the kicks. So that the kicks wouldn't be in the same range as the bass that's going on at the bottom, so that like if you hear this live, you know, the bass will kind of be in your face while the kicks are everywhere above that, and it'll just be really hectic and kind of very feelsy towards the end because the bass is still going on, like, giving you that vibe. So that's why I wanted to go for it towards the end. I think it ended up pretty well. Clarity isn't the best though, but that's fine. As you can see, there's a bass here, long bass at the bottom. Yeah. Ended similarly to the original. Didn't want to change too much about it. Great song. All right, I love this one. It's a song that I've listened to for a long time and always wanted to do a remix for it, but wanted to save until I knew enough about sound design and more genres and stuff before I actually tackled it. I wanted to do the song justice. So really happy with this one, and a great song to start the new year. Well, the new year of 2019 as it is. So next we will have I think it's Kaen. Yeah, I think that's what happened next. So let's go to that. I think this was the first time I got Will Stetson on a song. I think. And let me double check that. So yeah, that was the first time I got Will Stetson collab. Yeah, I love this guy's stuff. His stuff is so good. He has a really unique voice. You shouldn't sleep on his stuff. If you guys like Vocaloid cover stuff and English Vocaloid versions of things, you should really check out his stuff. He does a really cool thing too, where he does swing arrangements of things, and those are really cool, really fun to listen to. I think you should guys check out his stuff for a lot of different kind of content. And overall, a really talented guy. I'm excited to work more with him. And he also sang on my latest release. If you guys want to check that out, it's from Boku no Hero Academia. Oh yeah, check it out. Okay, so the beginning of this song, I think it started out with a bunch of traditional Japanese instruments, and I couldn't really like recreate that to an extent to where it would sound okay, for me at least. So instead of doing that, I just kind of got big chords in, and then I put a bunch of filters over it. Just I think a high pass filter. Yeah, high pass filter to add some reverb over that, add some piano, and then we're good. What a song though. This song was such a good song of the year though. One of the best ones. Hey. First time using these drums, and it really went off. I really love the usage in the song. These specific drums, the trap drums. I was really feeling the virtual self vibes early 2019. Yeah. The little arcs happening in the background, the super saws. We're back. Yeah, I used Massive for these sound designs here. I haven't used Massive in a bit, so I wanted to kind of throw back to my older sound design here. I wanted to do something more trap focused because I got a bunch of new trap drums around this time. So used a bunch of trap drums in the song. Love this solo, this hit solo. A lot of the times when I make these solos, I kind of just like fiddle around on the piano and see what works. And then after a while, I just kind of, oh, this sounds good, and I put it in there, edit it a little bit. And that was one of my favorite melody licks I've done in a while. Kind of fits really well with the song. This part over here is also really fun to play on the guitar. If you guys ever see me live and I play this song, I love playing this part. So for the trap drop coming up over here, so this part over here, okay, I want to do something a bit different here, because a lot of the times when I do trap drops like this, it's like a sound design thing, and then the plucked sound design thing, and then big bass, and minimal drums. But instead of just doing something like that, I wanted to try to use and incorporate some of the instruments used earlier in the song. And I was like, yo, why not use the koto? I think it was the koto. Why not use the koto on top of the trap drop and kind of do like one of those kind of like sampled styled trap drops? And I'm like, yo, this would actually work because the song itself uses traditional instruments and might as well combine the traditional instruments with a modern twist. And I was like, hey, let's do this. And it ended up being pretty cool. And I added like a little, I'm trying to remember, let me see what I added in the background. Okay, so that little like kind of happening in the background, that is a reversed reverb on top of the koto. So basically I add reverb to the koto, and then I reverse the reverb. Is that no way? I reverse the koto part. So I play the koto part and record it, and then I reverse that, add reverb to that, take out the koto part, and then put that reverb back into the song and then reverse that reverb. So basically you're getting the reversed reverb of the reversed koto part, and then you take that and then you reverse the reverb. It's a little confusing, but just check out how to make your voice sound like a Protoss unit, and then you apply that reverb to any instrument you want, and it makes a really cool effect. Yeah, it's a Protoss thing. It's a StarCraft thing. I grew up playing StarCraft, and I like Protoss stuff, and I thought it was a pretty cool idea to do that. But anyways, it's I don't think it's a Protoss thing. I think it's just a general music term. I don't know what it is, but I just call it the Protoss reverb. But yeah, I used the Protoss reverb on the background of the plucks just to get a cool vibe, and it sounds like this overall. Hey. Oh, I also had like a little like off timing whoop, 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 whoop in the background. It's cool, adds the vibe. Hey. Oh, funny story. So there's a little boom, that sound. I couldn't really find a really good royalty-free version of that, and I hit up my friend VGR and like, yo, do you have a sound that sounds like this? And he's like, I got you. He sent it right away to me, and that was so clutch of him, because like I was having so much problems trying to find that sample. And yeah, huge shout out to VGR for getting me that sample. Really check out his stuff. Does great video game remixes. And yeah. Also, he does amazing Steven Universe remixes. You gotta check that stuff out sometime. It's really good. Hey, I wanted to bring back the trap jumps here because it was only used in the beginning, so I wanted to use the trap jumps again with more energy. Yeah. Oh, also, if you didn't notice, there are also Vocaloid vocals in the background. I mean, you probably noticed that because they're pretty forward in the mix. But yeah, I used Vocaloid vocals because I felt like it would be a nice contrast to the original vocals, and I think it just worked overall in the song. So I think Flower's voice really works with the song, and mixing in with Will's voice, it was a really cool dynamic. I'm going to try to do more of that in the future, having Vocaloid vocals mixed with real vocals. I feel like that'd be a cool little mix to try to do more often. But yeah, so that's Dororo, one of my most successful songs in 2019. Thank you guys again for the support on that one, and we shall move on to the next one. Alright, so this next one, the Danmachi ending, Rise, Right Light Rise, there you go. This was actually a really old project. I had the vocals for around a year or two, and I never really got to the project. So I saw them sitting in my hard drive, like, why haven't I done these already? So I decided to do it. So yeah, here it is. One of my favorite ending songs of this year, of not 2019, but when this came out. It was such a nice ending song. It's still one of my favorite ending songs to date. I really love the chords in this one. The melody is really infectious. Great chorus. Love the horns, even though I didn't put horns in this remix. But yeah, Akano did a great job with the vocals, even though they were done like a year or two ago. Overall, I really like how this song came out. A lot of things I tried out in the song. The build up towards the second half of the song, which will come soon, is really cool. I like that as well. But yeah, it's gonna be great. Well, not so gonna be great. It turned out good. So yeah, Danmachi ending. Hey. I honestly, sometimes when I listen to the chorus of the song, it feels a little empty. But I don't know. After listening to it a little bit, I think it's all right. Like if I added more to it, I feel like it'd be a little too busy. Love the licks in this song. It's so good. All right, so for this next section, I want to do like a little halftime thing. But a lot of times when I do halftime stuff, they come out a little bit brighter, a little more like extra, I guess you could say. So I wanted to kind of like chill back a little bit for this section and kind of like just simplify it a bit more and just have the vibes carry out through instead. Hey. So it was really nice. And I also added a random sample of right there, you hear it? It's cowbell. It's a little random thing I decided to add in there extra. So I always experiment with more percussion stuff. It's always fun to do that. Over here, I added a real drum set. It's kind of like contrast a little bit. It's actually one of the first times I use a real drum set in a song as the main focus. I'd use more real drum sets later into the year. Yeah, basically, so this section I also added a real bass guitar, and I just redid the bass guitar parts in the original song. So I kind of like did a little hybrid of electronic music and the original song. And transition to a build-up halftime section. Hey, hey, hey. Love this section. Like I love doing those syncopated kind of like halftime drops and stuff like that, little entrances before the whole thing explodes. But also a really funny part here. So when I was making this song live on Twitch, when I was making this section here, I actually had new samples, right? And a part of this new sample pack that kind of had some weird sample packs I wasn't really going to use because there's too much, not really my style. One of the things that I had there was just a bunch of like a dude just saying a bunch of stuff into a mic. And I didn't want to use any of those in general. Like, I'm not going to use any of those in general because it's just not, I don't really put like vocal like shout outs and vocal like chants and stuff into my song. So I'm like, I'm never going to use these. But we were looking through them, the chat and I, and we found some really funny stuff, just like really dumb shit that the guy was saying. And we just put it into the song. Hold on, I don't know if I still have it. Oh yeah, okay, here. So someone linked it in the chat, so let's watch it a little bit. It's so funny. Here you go. So dumb. Should I play it again? Please play it again. It's pretty good. Is this what you wanted? Hey, hey. But yeah, there's that. I should do more memes. But we'll get to the memes actually. So I did something real dumb this year. But besides that, that's a little funny thing I had fun with the chat with, and that's only on Twitch. But oh geez, but yeah, fun section. Okay, yeah. So for this section here, also the bass design here was done by my friend Kitsun. He just made up something really quick, and it's like, yo, if you wanted something that sounds similar to Seven Lions, because I think at the time I was talking about Seven Lions. He said, here, this is really simple. He gave it to me, and like, yo, this actually really fits the song. So huge shout out to Kitsun, just helping me randomly whenever I'm stuck trying to figure something out. But yeah, really good stuff. He also makes music himself. Check it out, Kitsun. But yeah, next section. Well, let's go back a little bit. All right, so here we go. So this section I wanted to do like a build up, a really long build up kind of. Having, I guess, like 808, not 808, sorry, like acidy 303 stuff. I don't know if that's the type of term, but just kind of like older sounding synths here. Hey, having a super long build up into the melodic drop, because this section, you know, she's saying kind of like instructions to do stuff with your hands and stuff. So it kind of sounded like a little like mini game type of thing. So I wanted to do like a little. I guess OST sounding part or something like that. Hey, it ended up sounding really cool. Love the sound of this section. Pretty unique from what I usually do. And yeah, it turned out really cool. Love this section as well. The original part here is a bunch of horns doing the melody line, but I wanted to use the melody line in the original song as a bass and kind of change it a little bit to match the song, the remix. And it ended up being really cool. Nice little variations from the original, kind of changes it up a bit. And it isn't just a copy and paste from the original, which is one of the things I try not to do. But change it very slightly just so that it's, you know, the aesthetics changed enough to where it matches the remix. But yeah, overall, this song was a nice change of pace for me actually when I made it. And you know, because I was doing a bunch of newer stuff at the time, and going back to an older song, I was like, yeah, I like to change the pace, and I think it ended up being pretty nice overall. Definitely one of those tracks that like stood out for me in 2019, but not necessarily one of the most, I guess, commercially successful. Well, actually, 40,000 is pretty solid compared to a lot of other stuff I've been doing. So I can't say this one was a flop. Overall, I think it's a project that I really like doing, and I look back at it and I'm really proud of it. Also, I forgot to put the outro music here. Okay, so next one. Yeah, actually looking back, earlier in the year I wasn't doing as much in the first few months, and then I kind of picked up a lot when April Fool's started. So yeah, let's get right into April Fool's, shall we? Oh jeez. So this one is a song. Oh god. Oh jeez. So yeah, this is my April Fool's song. I don't think I did an April Fool's song until this year, so this was definitely something I wanted to do for a while, but was kind of hesitant for obvious reasons. So anyways, when selecting a joke song for April 1st, I was like, okay, what's the memeiest song I can find within the anime community? And this was the most obvious one. So I never actually listened to this one until I decided to remix it. So I was kind of like winging it the whole time. And I was like, it doesn't matter because it's a joke. But I still wanted to keep some kind of structural stability to the song itself and not have an entire joke for a song. Until it came to the end. I just said fuck it, and here we go. Yeah. Life decisions, huh? There's the fucks. Alright, let's dissect this song. So, yeah. Boku no Pico. The song itself isn't too bad, like structurally wise, and the sounds of it, like melodically isn't too bad. But as you can tell, I kind of rushed a lot of it because I just didn't feel like polishing it. Also I made this song on April Fool's, I think. I literally did it in like a couple hours because like I honestly, it was a bit of a last minute decision to do this one. It honestly turned out a lot better than I thought it would. So yeah, scruff section here. Hey. I don't really know if there's much to say about this song, to be honest. I just kind of threw a bunch of stuff that just came up to mind as I went on making the song. Oh man. Oh man, but yeah, interestingly enough, there were some interesting ideas I liked adding into this song. And except for the ending section, that was just put as much bass as possible, as much hi-hats as they could. Listening to this section cracks me up every time. Oh jeez. And then, okay, if you guys didn't notice, there's a little Undertale reference in there. Made sure to add the Sans eye in there as well. Oh Jesus, I made sure not to put this on Spotify as well because I didn't want it to taint my actual serious release. But if you guys actually want this song on Spotify, let me know in the description below. Okay, I think we can move on to the next song. Oh geez, God has left the chat indeed. Almost forgot it was April Fool's. Oh, I should be looking at the comment section. Anyways, anime man, shout out. Next song. Oh yeah, so yeah, this, the private video, it was just a bad render, I think. I forget what happened here, but yeah, it was just a bad render of the song. I never deleted the video because I forgot to. That's all that was. Let's see. Oh, okay. Oh shit. Okay, so yeah, I forgot to react to this one. This was the Nice Rice EP that came out at the time. And yeah, so Nice Rice is a collaboration between my best friend and me. So yeah, it's just a collaboration between my best friend, and it was an original project. Excuse me. And yeah, so he wrote all the words, and he actually wrote all the words to just like existing beats, and then we made our own versions of the beats, and we made songs from things that he wrote. And a lot of the stuff in this EP was actually stuff that he's written throughout the years, that he's never actually like had the time to put in a song, because he's never really found a producer. And I've never actually thought. Hold on a second. Sorry. And at the time, I didn't think that I could produce the style that he wanted, so I never collaborated with him on projects that he wanted to do, because I just felt like my style wouldn't go well with what he wanted. And it wasn't until 2019, well, late 2018 was when we started working on it. It wasn't until then that I actually was confident enough to make trap music and R&B type stuff. And yeah, it took so long for me to actually do stuff with my best friend, because you know we've been wanting to do stuff for a long time, and I was never confident in my skills in making the type of genre. So yeah, we finally came down to it. I was like, yo, let's just actually do it once. We sat down a couple of days, and we sat down and made 5 songs. It was good. It was really nice. It was a nice change of pace for myself as well. I haven't really made original music in a long time. And I've also been struggling with making original music in general, because I really hate writing music, original music, and lyrics as well. So if someone else actually brought the lyrics to me, and I was able to collaborate with someone else's work, I felt like it would have went off a lot better and easier, and it did. We ended up making an EP called The Word. No, that's a lie. It's called Handshake. And yeah, it ended up being one of the cooler projects I've done in 2019. If you guys haven't heard it yet, please check it out. The link in the description below. But if you search up Nice Rice Handshake, you'll find it as well. But yeah, let's just run through the song. Originally, we weren't sure how the song would start, but I had the idea right away. Let's just do a little keyboard solo. Experimented a bit with that, added a bunch of filters on the drums, and it ended up being like a really, really solid intro, and it just kind of happened in the spur of the moment, so that was nice. Kind of worked out in the end. But yeah.
She tried to kill me in the kitchen with a candlestick.
But yeah, my man, Devontae is his name. He's had multiple aliases over the years, and we landed on this one to be his more serious one. Not more serious one, but one that he'll land his EP on. And yeah, he's been getting some local shows recently, and I'm happy for his success with his early success with the Nice Rice alias, and I look forward to more stuff he can do with the brand. So it's gonna be really cool in the future. I'm really excited for the future stuff we're gonna be doing as well, because now that we've gotten these songs out, he can make new stuff, because a lot of this content here is older stuff that he's had backlogged. So the newer stuff from here on out will be so like fresh, and the ideas will be kind of crazy, and I'm really excited to show you the newer stuff. It's gonna be cool. So yeah. So yeah, the whole Nice Rice thing, it's like R&B hip hop based, less DJ Joe, like EDM style. But we decided to add this section in here, right here. Bam. Yeah. Love this part. A lot of influences from John Bellion. Here's just the chug. And yeah, a lot of inspirations from the Nice Rice project comes with just not Japanese music, but the American music that I listen to, and all the stuff that he listens to, kind of put into our own style. And I've never really done that in a project until this one, and I'm really happy that I did it, because it opened myself up to do more original projects with my friends. Later in the year, I did music with my brother Naku. That's not his real name, but that's his alias, Jesse, and we actually did a song before the Naku project called Stage Struck, and that one was really interesting. Hold on, let's go to Stage Struck real fast. I know this one was last year, but it's relevant to stuff that's going to be happening this year. Hold on a second. Here we go. So yeah, this is Stage Struck. And so my brother, he really loves playing the ukulele, and it's one of his main instruments that he plays. And he kind of bursted into music writing, songwriting in 2018, and he had a lot of potential, and I saw so much potential in my brother, and I said, yo, we really should actually turn these into real songs. And it ended up being really, really, really cool. The end result of this was a really cool amalgamation of a bunch of genres done in like an alternative style with lots of influences from, I guess, the e-boy type music, if you can call it that. But overall, the Imnaku project, we're going to cover that a little bit later in the video. But I just wanted to do a quick shout out to this because I actually did this song first before I did Nice Rice. And then Nice Rice really got me more into the mood of making more original music. And yeah, let's go through the rest of the Nice Rice songs now. So yeah, okay, so for the chorus here, we add like strings in the background, kind of like lo-fi. We added like a lo-fi effect to it, just so that it's not too forward in the mix. And bang, like I said earlier, John Bellion aesthetic here. That little funkiness in there. I love this section over here. So, wanted to put the emphasis on the spaces in between everything. Kind of gives it a really cool vibe here. Love it. Go on your way. And because there's so much space everywhere, we decided to throw in a bunch of little percussion stuff there. It's a little nice little like quirky area. Anyway. I honestly still think to this day that this section is still a little bit much in terms of like the busyness and the solos, but it kind of grew on me over a while. I guess it's more of an aesthetic.
My dreams are more than they seem. Just say the word and I'll make sure that you're heard.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I feel like a lot of people were confused with this. Well, I don't know if people were, but I was hoping people weren't confused with the whole, the word featuring Zenpaku kind of thing. Because the featuring Zenpaku is the sections that are more EDM-y based, and the whole solos. Me doing the solos was technically the feature there. And I just hope people didn't think that it was me singing. But yeah, so yeah, this is the word from the Nice Rice EP. And yeah. Hope you guys enjoy it. I feel like we should also just go through the EP itself. So yeah, we'll do some quick reactions to the EP. Nothing too much though, because we still have a lot of music to go through. So we'll just do some quick summaries and quick things about each song in the EP. Nice Rice. We'll also do that with the Naku EP as well. Alright, so this one is Different Devils. This is more of like a flex song, as you can say. So yeah, this is just basic plucks over some 808s. Kind of not really knowing where to go when I made the song at first, and then we added different aesthetics of like 8-bit stuff as he wrote more of the raps. And overall, I think the vibe in this song ended up being pretty solid, coming from nothing. So this song ended up being pretty nice. I like the hype of it. It's kind of one of those hype people songs, as you can tell by the chorus right here. Hey, 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 hey. But yeah, this song actually gets pretty hype live. So oh yeah, we did one show with Nice Rice live kind of recently, and during the show, Devontae, Nice Rice, doesn't really like doing, call and response type things. He kind of just like wants to focus more on the performance aspect of the stuff. So he said, yo, if you guys think you should be saying stuff, go ahead and say it kind of thing. It's like, it should be kind of obvious. And yeah, the chorus of the song was so hype. Hey, we all make the same noise. They all sound the same. Everyone said that. It was crazy. I wasn't expecting it. But yeah, so yeah, this is a hype song. One of the main things I wanted to point out from this one is the usage of the gang vocals in the chorus. Hold on, let's go back a little bit. That's They all sound the same. So yeah, this was I think this was one of the first times I experimented with gang vocals, and basically the way it works is you go a bit away from the mic. I usually say about 2 hands or more from the mic. And then you just yell at the mic. That way it gets that distance from the mic, and then when you layer it with other voices of the same distance, it'll have that like multiple people yelling effect, and it's really cool to see it all come together. It doesn't sound like much when you're first recording it, but when you put everything together, it makes sense. It's really cool. A lot of the ad libs in the song,
When I say freeze, put your hands high.
it's just me and Devo just yelling random stuff. It was really fun. Okay, next song.
Please don't make me have to be the back.
Sorry, we can't stay too long on these ones because we have so much stuff to do. All right, so Cologne. This song, more of the feelsy ones. Devontae wanted to kind of put in not just a bunch of hype songs, not just a bunch of poppy songs into an EP. He wanted to have more content into the EP, something that's more meaningful. So Cologne and Handshake, those two are kind of more of the I guess feelsy type of songs, I guess you can say. But yeah, this one, interestingly enough, with the instrumental, that is a koto, I think. It's a Japanese stringed instrument I used in here. We're trying something else, so I decided to go through a lot of the different patches I had, and I'm like, yo, this would be interesting in like a R&B type slower song. And we tried it out, and it sounded really interesting, and we thought the vibe was unique, and we kept it. Yeah. This lead over here, one of my favorite ones I've done. It's like a really cool, just an 808 with slight distortion on it, a bunch of reverb and a bunch of delay. It's just, did I say 808? It's a sine wave. Sorry, it's a sine wave that's I think just widened out a lot so that it has like a bunch of unevenness when you put it down into one mono channel. And it comes out with a really cool effect. I added I think a phaser on there to go back and forth. I don't exactly remember, but I'm really proud of the synth. But yeah, one of the things I want to highlight from this song is the ending section over here. Oops, thank you for the follow. So this ending section over here, this was actually taken from one of Devontae's friends. So he sent the song Handshake to him, which we're gonna listen to in a little bit, and this was his raw reaction to the song. And it was surprising to get that kind of a raw reaction when we weren't expecting it, from a review of a track that Devo said, yo, you just trying to get an opinion out of something. And it impacted us a lot that we wanted to put it in the song, so we made a long outro in the ending, we put it into the recording there, and it was just a nice little shout out to how much he liked the song and the whole project and everything. So it was a nice little thing we wanted to do for him. So next song. What Devontae always says in this beginning, this little pads, he says it always sounds like an accordion, sounds like a French song. But yeah, I kind of was like, yo, let's just throw a bunch of trap drums over it, and we ended up making this song. I didn't want to do an 808 bass here because the drums itself were already kind of generic, so I didn't want to add an 808 bass here. I added a real bass guitar instead, and it made the difference for the whole feeling of the song. So I'm really proud of how it ended up turning out with that bass guitar. So yeah, time to start to separate. Really catchy. I love this one. Personally, it's one of my favorite ones of the album. Okay, so in this EP, I also experimented a lot with vocal effects. That would feels like. But yeah, really like the way the vocal processing turned out in this whole EP. I'm proud of it. I'm really proud of it, and I'm really looking forward to doing more with Nice Rides. But yeah, love the bass guitar here. One of the more catchier ones on the EP. Definitely a standout for me. Okay, so for this section, we weren't sure what to do to bring it back into the chorus. So I know we wanted to do like a piano break, so like a little breakdown, but we weren't sure what else to add in to fill in the space. So I just threw a breakbeat over it, and he was like, yo, how dare you add breakbeats over my song, as a joke. And it was really funny, so that's kind of like kept it kept it like a joke. It was like, you know, how dare you add in breakbeats, and we ended up liking it anyways. So it was kind of funny. So yeah, we added a breakbeat in there, and we bring it back in. And this last chorus, so good. His vocals are so good. Really, really talented. Devontae, nice try, my best friend. Always had a really strong voice, and like I said earlier, that I felt like 2019 was the time to make the EP. So yeah, when we get together, it's like oil and water. So good. And that's Handshake. Your usual, just fade out towards the end, just less and less instruments, ending with the riff we added in the beginning. Yep. All right, next song. Oh yes, 5K. I love 5K. So 5K, super duper proud of this one. So beginning, we had the little boop boop bear, kind of like a race, and then bass. I'm the dude that's running like a 5K kid with the knack for killing it with the palm paste. So listening to this song, my goal here was I wanted to try to make a trap song that didn't sound generic. So I wanted, like, cause there are a lot of like beats and, you know, specific artist type beats that have a definition to them. You know what I mean? The specific sound is coordinated with a specific artist, and I tried my hardest to try to make a unique beat here. Trying to use different kind of drums and a different kind of 808. And I'm extremely proud of the production on this song. I tried to put in as many snares as I could, and varied the production in each specific section as much as I could. I kind of went all out. Love this one. Oh, also, if you've seen the chat, there's a circulation check. So basically, in my streams, every time an hour passes, I did a little check so I could, you know, not sit in the chair the whole time I'm streaming. That's just a little side thing. Anyways, back to the song. So the song, this song was the most amount of stuff that Devo had that was in his backlog, just put into a song, because you know he just had all this stuff written down and he had nowhere to put it, and this was one of the main songs to put everything into. So yeah, a bunch of raps put together. But yeah, if you ever have time, you guys should really listen to this song. There's a lot of different intricate stuff that I tried to go on. I'll try to do with this song, and I really appreciate you guys checking this one out specifically. But yeah, it's the big flex song. And yeah, I tried a bunch of different snare samples from all the sample packs I recently got. And there's this part. Hey. Baby shark, just a little meme in there. But yeah, I think honestly the whole Nice Rice identity is it's like quirky but serious, but not to be taken too serious, and it's all like R&B and rap based. So yeah, I'm really excited for the future stuff of this project. Yeah. Overall, this song, one of my favorite ones on the EP, probably my favorite one in terms of production. You best not mess with my mans or I'll put it in my hands and I'm pulling up in that 2000. It did take a bit to go through every single section here. So honestly, check it out yourself. Oh man, but yeah, this is the Handshake EP. If you guys want to check it out, search up Red Nice Rice Handshake, or just check in the description down below, and you'll be able to check out all his songs there. But yeah, here we go. Oh, one more thing I want to say about the song. I wanted to end it. Run. I wanted to end it just like cut it, just so it's a gigantic, just like all this like power throughout the whole song, and just bam, it's over, just like a race, I guess. And right once you cross the finish line, it's all over. And yeah, the whole thing was themed around, you know, having, you know, it being a race from the whole thing in the beginning, having the beep 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 being throughout the entire song. Overall, super proud of this song, super proud of the project, and I'm excited for the future. And yes, if you guys haven't checked this stuff out yet, please do. It's an original project, so it'll support me directly even more, as well as Nice Rice and his future endeavors. And let's move on to the next song. Thank you guys. Oh wow, what a nice track. Kingdom Hearts 2, Sanctuary. Okay, so this was around the time the Kingdom Hearts 3 came out, and I wanted to do something for Kingdom Hearts you know, to commemorate the new game. But excuse me. But yeah, this is my remix of Sanctuary featuring Lalia. Lalia did such an amazing job on the vocals here. Like, she sounds almost like the original in a lot of parts, and such a good, talented singer. Fun fact, Lalia was actually the first vocalist I ever collaborated with, and I still collaborate with her till this day. And yeah, Sanctuary, one of my favorite projects I've done in 2019. It really ended up being really, really unique in terms of the sound design that I used in it. And overall, I think I had a lot of fun going between, you know, breakbeat sections and halftime sections in this one. And yeah, really, 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 really proud of this one as well. Dang. So, yeah. This specific part here, I wanted to make a huge emphasis on the bass and a lot of percussion, because the specific part, whenever it came up in the original, I was like, "Yo, what a sick sounding section!" So I wanted to make it like a, you know, a pop out section of the song. Hey, hey. But yeah. Boom, boom.
I want you fast to say.
Yeah, vocal processing and preparing all these vocals took a while because I wanted them to be really good, really solid. And I think this is one of my most like polished songs in 2019. Yeah, I love this part of the song in the original. Oh man, it's such a good song. Oh man, want to do the trap right here as well? Hey, hey, hey. Oh, so this section. So we did the fuck meme in here as well. I don't know if we have a clip of it, but basically, if you guys remember in the meme song I did, of course we just covered it. The April Fool's song, I did the fuck towards the end, and I added that into this song during the stream just for fun. And Lalia was in the stream as well. We were all having a good laugh for it. It was a good time. Oh man. Oh, is that it? Hold on a second. Okay, we did do the fuck thing. I think we did. I feel like we might have done it for a short time, but we did add the Who Wants the Bass. Oh, this shit's good. Here it is again. It's so ridiculous. Oh man. Okay, yeah, we had a lot of fun with that. So all the way up until this section over here, the last final section, it kind of like had the same vibe as the rest of the song, kind of nothing changing too much, just kind of like having extra layers on top of the lead, but nothing like too changing, nothing too different from the rest of the song. I did that on purpose because near the ending there's a section where all the music cuts off and it's just the vocals, and then it drops, and I wanted that drop to be super big, so I made sure this section here wasn't too different from the rest of the song. And god, such a good part of the song. I love this song. I love this song right here. Hey. I love it. So yeah, this section, halftime, crash cymbal, good stuff, moving basses. Man, I love the addition of the hi-hat of the break beats here. It really adds that extra intensity to it. Well, yeah, that's Sanctuary. One of my favorite, most polished songs of 2019. Hope you guys enjoyed it as well. And let's move on to the next one. Promised Neverland opening. Okay, so Touch Off. Yeah, I love Overworld. I've been a fan of their music for a long time. Love this song. So hype. Oops. So yes, Touch Off. Overworld, super hype. Starting off with the sax solo like Overworld does. Didn't really have a good sounding saxophone plugin. Didn't really want to go hunting for one. Didn't want to spend too much money on it. So I just did the whole usual DJ Joe lead there. Yeah. Fire. Ramix did a great job with the vocals here. Ramix, one of my newer vocalists, I think I picked up in 2018. I started collaborating with in 2018. Was it 2018? Yeah, definitely 2018. Started collaborating with Ramix in 2018. And been collaborating with him ever since. Really talented vocalist, and I'm really happy for his recent success in the last 2 years. Well, yeah, touch off. Oh yeah, I forgot. So, the girl that says fire right in the beginning, and she also says, hold on, let me find it. I'ma show you how to. She did I'ma show you how to and fire. That is Hikaru Station. If you don't know Hikaru Station, she does a lot of stuff on YouTube. Vocalist, a really good vocalist. We do have a future song laid out for us to collaborate with, so look forward to that. It's gonna be great. We actually have 2 songs we're gonna be doing, so keep an eye out for Hikaru Station and those songs, because she is a very talented vocalist, and I'm excited to work with her. Anyways, back to the song. Hey, so this section I wanted to do more of those falling chords with the synths, like the Porter Robinson type thing, because I haven't done one of those in a while. I think I haven't done one of those in a while. At least at this time, I didn't do like one of those kind of just hard falling synths in a while. Want to put that in there. Hey. And I think for the most part with this project, I didn't want to go too extreme with it, because I felt like a lot of my stuff, as of recently when I was releasing this, was very complex. A lot going on, so I wanted to kind of dial it back a little bit, but still be aggressive, if that makes sense. Yeah. But I love this drop right here. Boom. Kind of unexpected, but I thought it was really cool that it was unexpected, and instead of having, you know, like the usual build up into a drop, I wanted to kind of happen suddenly, just to have a change of pace. And I think this specific part really turned out well, so yeah, I love it. Here's a little shout out to Alias from Alias. I don't know if they say it like that, but Alias is a little section over there. I just want to do a shout out to older songs. And some breakbeats. I really love using breakbeats. Using breakbeats for me is kind of a newer thing I tried to start doing, and I don't think I'm ever gonna stop. Okay, so let's talk about this second chorus. So we got some scatteredness over here, and then we bring it back together with a boom, which happened in the first chorus as well. So that will bring it back together into a giant explosion with a bunch of falling synths, super intense. Ah, love it. This section, a lot of people like this as their favorite part of the song, and I understand that, because like this part just kind of came together naturally. Loved it, love it so much. Alright, the drop section here. Honestly, looking back at it, I feel like it's a little underwhelming, but my goal for it was to just have mainly focus on the bass. I mean, the sound design here, like, I'm really proud of the sound design here. It's a really cool, like, thick sounding synth there. But yeah, my main focus here was the focus into just the lower frequencies, just focusing on the bass. And yeah, I think I achieved. Hey, Ramix again with the crazy vocals. Love his work. Oh, so good. I did say it's a little underwhelming, but I still like it. But I feel like I think I had a few comments saying that I could have done more with the drop there. But looking back at it, I could have done more with the drop there. Like, I could have made it more intense, more focused on, you know, on the sound design, even more so than it currently is. But I think overall it's a solid job for the section transferring over to an electronic, you know, arrangement. Overall, though, I'm not too hurt about the section, but it is what it is, and you can't stay on projects for too long, or else you won't ever progress and stuff like that. I've had that unfortunately happen to me with a few projects in the past, like my Shinzo Sasageyo project that I worked on that project for like months because I didn't know what to do with the instrumental at specific parts, and me not being able to record as well. So I didn't want that. I was afraid that was going to happen again in the future. So a lot of the times when I make projects, I have to finish it up instead of constantly going back and forth with myself, not being happy with specific sections. So yeah, I'm always scared that a second Shinzo Sasage will happen. But anyways, back to the song. It's been halftime for the whole song, so I wanted to put this section here. Short little build-up section, nothing special. Yeah, like I said earlier, a lot of this song is based off the structure of the original song. Didn't want to do anything too crazy. But yeah, that's the promise that I never. Oh, actually, we gotta cover this ending section. Oh God, Ramix is so good. I can't stop talking praises about this guy. Oh God, so good. I don't know. I can't say anything else but like such a talented guy. Like he's able to like put such high quality vocals and have so much passion in the stuff that he does. Like it really shows. Crazy stuff. So I didn't want to do too much into the last section because I wanted to highlight how powerful his vocals were. This kind of build up into nothingness. Well, it goes into this little ending section. But if you actually listen to the song by itself, it kind of builds up and then stops. Kind of builds that tension. I did that because anime has a lot of tension and a lot of stuff that you didn't expect. There's that. Okay, so next one. All right, so this is Two-Faced Lovers. This one, I like this song for a long time, and it's one of my favorite songs I ran into when I was first getting into Vocaloid, and it was one of the songs I really wanted to remix. But at the time, I couldn't remix it because I didn't really know how to get the vocals for the song. So what I initially did, if you guys saw some of my older Vocaloid videos, I actually took the original song and then I overlaid it with the off vocal or the instrumental, and I inverted it. And what that does is that it takes out everything in the original song that the instrumental has, and it gives you the acapella of the song. For the most part, if it's done right or if the mixes are okay with each other. But with this specific song, I tried doing that, and it didn't work at all because the way that the guy mastered the song, the vocals are like super hard compressed into the song, so whenever the vocals come in, they interact with the instrumental, therefore making the instrumental different from the instrumental in the main song different from the instrumental that was, distributed to the public. So when you layered it, there'd be a lot of discrepancies, and we wouldn't have a clean vocal to work with. So I just didn't really attempt the remix then. But a long time later, I was like, I'm gonna actually do it again because I remembered about it. So here we are now in April. Halftime with some breakbeats in there. Hey. Also in the video, I'm really proud of this video. It's really cool. It had the whole aesthetic of the original video, but adding the DJ Joe symbol in there and a bunch of visualizers. So that was really cool. As for the vocals, I used Hatsune Miku because the original song was Hatsune Miku. I also wanted to kind of tune it in a similar way of the original song. And the original tuning of the song has that old vibe to it. Not as smooth as nowadays, the tuning people do nowadays. And speaking of which, there's another version of this song on YouTube. Let me go find it real fast. Someone said it in the chat earlier. There we go. So this version of the song has a stupid amount more views than mine. Mainly because it utilizes these new Vocaloids. At the time they were new. Meika Hime, Meika Mikoto. Really cool Vocaloids. They have a crazy range, these Vocaloids. But yeah, it's all good though. It's all good. Really good job to VVP as well, tuning these Vocaloids very well. But yeah, back to the song itself. If you guys want to check that out, let me see. I mean, if you search up Two-Faced Lovers remix, you'll be able to find it. Anyways, so what I want to do with the song, be as technical and crazy as possible because the song itself is pretty fast and a lot is happening. So I wanted to kind of go as crazy as I could with the instrumental. So they kind of make everything chaotic. A definitely chaotic song in general. Yeah, this part. Oh man, that's cool. Hold on, let's go back up a little bit. Let's go back. Alright, so for the verses here, I want to kind of do a call response thing. So first bass, and then add chords. And go back to the bass. Transition, chords being in there as well. Just kind of like a short little thing, call response. Then, I love like hits like that. Like that's one of my favorite things to do, where it's like it's just bass hang, boom. I love doing that. Alright, so next section over here. Same as the beginning, but just faster. Keep it 4 on the floor just to keep that little beat going on. Hey. Add some strings in here. Add a little like pop into the chaoticness, adding more things in there. Oh man, that's one of my favorite parts. Oh god. So this section, so cool. More and more layers get added as it explodes. And the whole, I love the usage of the snare, adding reverb to that. Oh god, I love it. Whenever I say something my favorite, take it with a grain of salt, because I'm just too like inspired when it comes to listening to all this stuff. Oh man. But yeah, okay. But yeah, so this next section, after the whole first chorus, it's basically similar to the first verse, but adding a little bit more variation. Then we build up. Big chorus. Hey. Oh, also, yeah. So for the chorus, I wanted to basically, if you can hear it. So I basically recreated what they did in the original song, but electronically, and then I added a big heavy bass to that. That's what I basically did for the chorus, because I wasn't exactly sure what to do for the chorus. Like a lot of the things I was trying wasn't really working or sounding as good as I wanted to. So I basically recreated the original but electronically, and I thought that was fine how that ended up turning out. So I kind of settled for that. Man, this is one of my favorite songs to play live. Like this, every time I play this song live, it just goes off because I get this shred on the guitar. It's so fun to do. Oh man. And then a little ding ding ding. I love using rides in songs, like real sampled rides. That's my favorite. So this section over here is basically like what we did in the beginning, but even more intensified. I love that rising synth. Goes back down. Oh, I love this part. Oh Jesus. Every time I listen to this section, it's always like so good. So good to listen to. Yeah, basically what I did was I took synths and made melody lines to the chords, but with the rhythm of the vocals, and the vocals are crazy fast. I love this section. I took that even further right there towards the end of that section and made the drums do it as well. Oh gosh. This again, the build-up section, so good. Super proud of this one. Basically, everything is just getting bigger and bigger and bigger towards the end. So yeah, I just want to build upon itself, since it's the song kind of repeats itself in the original, and not much like progression happens. So I wanted to just make this thing just like progress even bigger and bigger and bigger as it gets towards the end. All right, ending section. Hey. Like having this ending section being so different from the rest of the song, rest of the choruses, really adds that extra oomph. Oh god, so good. Hey, okay, so yeah, that's Two Face Lovers, one of the most intense releases of 2019 for me. One of my favorite ones I've done, even though I say that for a lot of stuff. But yes, so let's go on to the next one. Oh man, so we actually got an original collaboration with a good friend Nokay. Nokay is actually VGR. Nokay is his original alias. Wait, did I skip one? Nope, not yet. Okay, so Nokay is his original alias for making original music, and we actually made this one in 2018's AX. So we got together. I think it was in 2018. We got together at his place in Cali when I was visiting for AX, and we literally just took a whole day and just made this song. Like for me, it's really hard for me to do collaborations with people over the internet, so I have to be with them in person to do the collaboration, like because like I love that active feedback between the other person in the room. And this was like the first time. This was actually the first time me actually doing that, and it was such a fun experience, and it ended up being a really nice track. Okay, so right away drops. Such a good song. So Nokay had a lot of the sound design elements in this beginning section. A lot of the stuff that happened in this song is kind of one of us coming up with an idea, other person building upon it as like, oh, maybe it sounds better like this, other person agreeing or disagreeing, and yeah, it ended up being really cool. Interestingly enough, the song when we made it, I didn't have any of my sample packs. We just basically used everything that was available on Nokay's computer, and Splice. I also don't have Splice, so we use Splice as well to pick a bunch of different things that we wouldn't usually use as well. But yeah, so we came up with this melody line, and became the theme for the whole song, and then it drops right here for a big build up. So this section, I had the idea to have this little real kind of thing going on, because I wanted to experiment a bit more with LFOs, and this ended up turning into such a really cool build up. I really like how it turned out there. Also, hold on, let's go back a little bit. So that little cha. So she actually had the idea to put in the anime the vocals in there. I personally didn't want to add those anime vocals into the song because I wanted it to be strictly just just the song itself. I'm not usually one to add vocals in there, but Nokay, a lot of his stuff has the anime vocals in there, so I kind of like compromised and like, and you know what, that actually makes sense because it would really show that it's a collaboration between my style and his style. So anyways, let's drop it. Let's see. So I want to do something melodic here. Like he had the idea to do the big chords and stuff, and I think I had the idea of doing the following parts in there. Yeah. Ooh. Okay, so you wanted to do something like big and rough and crazy after the melodic part, and I had the idea to do the big brrr. I love things like that. That shit's good. Ooh, gets every time. Really cool ideas though from Nokay with the sound design. Really good with the sound design stuff. You want to do trap here? So Nokay. So right here, Nokay had the idea to put the little cash register ding in there. One more time. He actually had the idea to put that in there. I thought it sounded pretty cool, so I just kept it in there. He did. I think he wrote the solo here. Just kind of he had the idea of just kind of a synthwave inspired section here. That was really cool. I came up with the chord structure for this ending section. That basically came up with the structure of how this ending section should go. The Nokay added a bunch of things into there to really fill out the section. And then he added all these lead synths into here. It's so good. It's so Nokay as well. It's like, it's so good. This whole ending section is like a giant combination of my style and his section and his style as well. So like, this song is like a really, like, it's such a good collaboration. It's like an actual like really like big merger between both of our stuff. I'm really proud of how this one turned out. He actually had the idea for this ending. I actually had to leave California without having this section being finished. He actually had to do the ending section because we didn't have enough time to finish the song. And he said this to me, I said some feedback, and we finalized everything. And the whole song is something that I feel like we're both really proud of, and yeah, I'd love to do it again sometime. Showa Genroku Rakugo Shinju, I think, if that's probably butchering Japanese, but I tried my best. Ushahi Shinju. So we got this. This one is from a drama anime. I actually haven't watched it myself. I heard so many good things about it. It's in my to-watch list. I'm going to try to get to in 2020. But I love Shina Ringo. It's one of my favorite Japanese artists. And when I saw that she wrote this song, I'm like, yo, I gotta listen to it. And it's a banger. Yo, let's go. She didn't actually sing on this song, but it's such a good song. Okay, so this song, the vocals are by Une, and she actually does a lot of like jazz work in general, outside of anime. and she did such a good job singing this one. Oh man, Une is so talented. One of my longtime collaborators in terms of doing vocal features. But yeah. With this song, I actually didn't do too much in terms of changing up the instrumentation. A lot of this song is actually taking what the original song had and making it into an electronic version. With some minor tweaks in specific parts to where, you know, it definitely wouldn't sound good with an electronic section. As we go through the song, I'll mention it. So, the beginning. Like, it's almost exactly how the original was, but just electronic version, minus the drum kit. Yeah, I think it's supposed to be piano here. Oh yeah. This song turned out so cool. Slow fading out 808s instead of just a solid long bass thing. I think it gives a really cool vibe. But basically, it's like my version of the, I think it's called electro swing. Yeah. And it like the ending result for this was something so unique that, like, I didn't expect this project to come out as cool as it did. I'm really proud of finding a snare that actually like still sounds electronic but has elements of an acoustic snare, so that, you know, I could play it more like an acoustic snare in the song itself. I was really happy with finding a snare sample like that. But yeah. Okay, so this next section, I love this section. So. Oh fuck, it's so cool, so cool. So basically I found a way to recreate, it's because it's just an upright bass that's playing with this song, with this section here, and the vocals. And I basically recreated an electronic version of that, but it's basically the way that you would make an 808 like a hip-hop trap bass, but used in a way to where it plays as an upright bass. And I'm super proud of getting this to sound like the way it does, because it's like you wouldn't expect it to work well, and it does, and it's like, oh, it's so cool. So cool. Oh, I can't get enough of it. But yeah, honestly, yeah. Super Serpent says, I agree, this is probably one of my most underrated remixes of 2019. It's such a banger. Oh, cool. But yeah, the rest of the song is pretty straightforward to how I arranged it. Nothing much changed from the original, just kind of rearranging things so that they're electronically, you know, basically an electronic arrangement of the song. Because I feel like trying to do too much with a jazz song with electronic is hard to make something sound good with. Yeah. It's such a different vibe. Oh man. But yeah, like, I really love this one. Une did such a great, amazing job with the vocals, and I would love to do more jazz songs in the future. So yeah, I'm actually looking to maybe do the B-Stars opening, because I feel like that has a lot of potential in it as well. So maybe look forward to that in the future. Hey, ending. Love it. Yeah, this section as well, I wanted to, oh yeah, this is one part of the section where I wanted to actually change up a little bit because it was getting a little monotonous with the same thing over and over again. So I just did a whole like house section, as you heard. But yeah. So cool. Alright. That is Ushirai Shinju featuring Une. And we shall move on to the next one. Alright, so we got the Naruto Shippuden opening 16, the classic Silhouette. Yeah, so this one was actually done for commission. Aki Dearest commissioned me to make this song because she was doing her special, I think 2 million subscriber special, and she wanted me to do the background music for it because she was going to be Naruto running everywhere. So since I think I had to get it done in like 3 or 4 days, and since it was such short notice, I had to do the vocals myself. So yeah, I sang it. It took a while to get these vocals down because it's the hardest song for me to sing. In the commission, she wanted me to try to go for something that was using guitars to kind of match the original a little bit more. So I ended up learning the song a bit on guitar and adding them in there and incorporating it into like a DJ Joe styled remix, and it ended up being so cool. Yeah, this remix, it's like a kind of a turning point in my style. So I started using my guitars later on. But yeah, really proud of this one. Ended up turning really cool. Really got to do the full version of this year. So 2020, we're definitely gonna do the full version finally. Oh, also, this song is one of my favorite songs to play live because, you know, everyone knows the song, so everyone's singing it. It's such a good song. I make sure to do a Naruto run across the stage as well just to give everyone a little taste of my weebness. That sounds terrible. Okay, so one of my favorite things in rock songs is the whole when they palm mute the guitar strings and they go make the sound. I love it when people use that in between chords and stuff like that. So I wanted to incorporate that in the chorus of the song because like that's one of my favorite things to hear in like rock songs. So this project I definitely want to finish up in 2020. So keep an eye out for that, as well as some other Naruto songs. I think I'm dedicating either February or March to just Naruto and Bleach songs. We'll see how that turns out. So, ooh, I forgot to put the end card for this. My bad. But anyways, let's move on to the next one. Hope you guys really like this one. It's a classic, and I'm planning to do more classics in 2020. So please look forward to that. Oh baby, here we go. So, Rise of the Shield Hero opening. Here we go. Rise featuring Ramix. Ramix makes a strike back return again, and we got a hype ass remix. Ooh! So this is the beginning part right here. So the O's, those are actually gang vocaled. So originally Ramix sent me, I think he sang the O's, twice. He sang the O's like twice, and he just sent that to me to use for it. I could have asked him to, you know, add extra O's with the whole spacing thing, like I said earlier, but instead actually I added the O's myself. So I did them in-house just so that, you know, I could have more control over the process. It really made the O's sound a lot bigger, and like adding extra lines while singing it away from the mic really adds like thickness to anything. It's crazy how much it adds though. Like you should, if you ever like trying to experiment with that kind of stuff, it's really fun to do. Like I think I added 3 or 4 more lines on top of his lines to really get a bigger effect into it. Like I said earlier, I was really digging the virtual self sound this year, so I wanted to do that kind of sound with this remix as well. But also rhythm game oriented. Like I was making this song with rhythm game oriented. Like rhythm game sounds ended up sounding being like really cool. Really cool. Let me kind of take on what I usually do. Oh man, had so much fun making these patterns. It's so cool. But like this song, I wanted to incorporate a lot of like rhythm game styles into it as well. And I'm pretty sure it comes out. I mean, just doing inspirations from virtual self automatically includes a video game like rhythm game influences. So it's heard pretty prominently throughout the rest of the song. But this section, wanted to go a little hard. Not necessarily virtual selfie, but more DJ Joey in a way. But yeah, having the whole like the rap verse here, I thought it'd be a good idea to have having a dubstep thing over that, because the rap and dubstep I feel like had its time. Skrillex did a little bit of that as well. Like Joshua, his whole thing is about that. So I felt like it was a good match. So this section, right about here, that part, that is heavily inspired by XI. If you look at all the XI tracks and stuff like that, they have a they do that a lot, where they do the triplets. That's like huge XI feels for me. Then we got a little sick build up over here. Hey. So I did that build up. I didn't want to drop into something that I usually did, so I did kind of like almost like a pump fake kind of drop. I think it turned out pretty cool. Yeah. So that's the second chorus. Now we get into this section over here. Big drop time. So actually this section, every time I play this song live, you know, I get to the crowd, I go like, yo guys, how you feeling? Yo, sing this part with me. And everyone sings the O's. It's always sick. But this section over here, super proud of this one. Really bringing out, instead of virtual self vibes, going for Porter. So straight up big, oops, sorry. Big emotional chords over everything. Still trying to keep like the using the same virtual self type saw, but having the big emotional chords in the background as well. Bam. Hey, I haven't really done a pure like this kind of drop in a while. That's why I wanted to put this into this saw in the middle of the air. So so good. I love that part. One more time. Oh yeah. So like, cause the whole time in this drop, everything's just like like kind of consistent together with not a lot of spaces in between each thing until this section right here. bam. Ah, it's so good. Just that little extra detail in there just to make the hype even more hypier, if that's even a word, which it's not. But you understand what I'm trying to go for. As much hype as possible, and that little standout section really like gets the feels across, I guess, if you could say it like that. Anyways, after that, we go super rough. Boom, boom, boom. Hey. Not much to say about this part, but it just goes ham. Wanted to have extra sections of melodic stuff over the hard stuff as well towards the end. And we go back into the rap. Hey, so last chorus. Similar to the first one, just more elevated. I love this one. This is such a classic song. There it is again, the XI section. Oh man. And then the whole thing ends up going back to square one with the O's. And then they end the song. Solid song of 2019. Really, really hype. Going back to those old DJ Joe melodic sections. And I hope you guys like this one as well. Alright, that's it. Rise. Awesome, awesome project. So we shall move on to the next one, which looks like it's Mukanjo. Let's do it. Alright, Vinland Saga opening. Mukanjo. Alright, so this one. If you remembered back in 2019, the first few months of 2019, I was kind of slow in releasing stuff. And then around this time, I was like, fuck it, let's just keep going at it. And I was on a spree of releasing things all the way up until, I think, today. Yeah, so this was the start of it, Mukanjo. Along with Mukanjo, I got a new singer as well. So Hiraga, the newest, one of the newer additions to the singing roster. Hiraga is really well known for his high range and aggressive vocals. Such a good, such a powerful singer. Yeah, Mukanjo, such a good song in general. The original, catchy as hell. Love the production on the drums and the guitars and everything. So good. Yeah, he does a great screamo as well. Oh man, oh.
Mukanjo best of the year, change my mind, full version, I need it.
The original song started off with kind of like a side chained like bass. That doesn't think of the offbeat. So I decided just to recreate that entirely, and then have like plucked synths to do what the guitars and everything else was doing. And instead of using an extra drum set here, I decided to use trap snares instead. I thought it would give a different vibe and not as intense as before, so that way when everything dropped, it would drop harder. So that's what I did here. I dropped it pretty hard. I think. If you could call this pretty hard. I think this is pretty solid. I feel like the bass, I could have done some better sound design in the bass to make it drop even harder than it did. But I think overall, I was happy with the ending outcome of it. Yeah, for the vocals here. So what I did there is basically I took all the vocals, I put it into auto-tune, and it tuned it all to one note. And then I took that and lowered an octave lower using vocal synth, and then I layered that over the original, and I gave a really cool aggressive effect over the the big synths that get added into that section just for a little aggressive section right before it goes back to the melodic section. Huge shout out to Hiraga again for the great screamo. He's able to do both of the singing and the screamo parts. Great vocalist again. Hey, hey! I was really trying to flex pretty hard this ending of this little drop over here. I feel like I went a bit too ham, but I tend to do that with my drops nowadays. Yeah, I was focusing on making something intense with having plucks involved as well. Hey, go back to the melodic part there. Let's go back a little bit. But yeah, a lot of the influences for this came with kind of a big like crab core where they get really down to the floor with the guitars kind of thing. I kind of I had like that kind of inspiration going on, and having the really slow like halftime drop kind of thing going on. So I was trying to get some like metal influences in there as well. I'm really proud of this section. So if you guys didn't catch it, so basically the synths are going like and then the next section it does that same exact rhythm but with harder synths, and it does the same thing over and over again. So I end up making the synth section more complex, and then in turn that makes the harder section more complex. And now that you know that, maybe you can kind of spot it out now. really happy with this one. triplet. There you go. Yeah, that was the concept I was going for that section. And in this section, I was going for an XI kind of feel because I was really getting. I mean, I've been into XI's music for a long time, but I've never really incorporated his stuff into my songs. I really wanted to do that with this song. I was also getting more into Osu around this time. And so my influences of wanting to make this into a beat map also kind of went into play there. But yeah, XI does a lot of stuff for its fast BPMs, 4 on the floor, and like big building sections and stuff that just to kind of progressively build up really big and really like intricate and very melodic driven. And I want to kind of like do it like an homage to that kind of style and just for that little build up all the way into the last chorus. Good song, good song. This project was nice for me to experiment around a lot, and in the end, I think doing this project helped me open up a bit more to try to experiment more, trying to add more other artists' styles into my stuff. Having the whole XI section in there, like, it wasn't too out of place in my opinion, but I just wanted to put that section in one of my songs, and I felt like this was a better fit compared to other songs I've done in the past. So, yeah. And the ending, not too much different from the first half. Yeah, there it is, Mukanjo. Solid song of 2019. So after Mukanjo, we go to Fire Force, right into it. Hey. Will Stetson, my man, he's back. 2019 is the year of Will Stetson for me, I think. Okay, so this was another one of those projects where I really use guitar on. And yeah, you'll see when that comes in later on. So, I fucking love Mrs. Green Apple. I've been listening to her music for a long time and got so hyped when I saw they scored a really big anime like this one. So they initially did like 2 other animes before this one, I think. One was I think Yu-Gi-Oh, the Yu-Gi-Oh, and they also did this other one. I forget what that one was about, but it was I don't remember. But they did like a slice of life anime, I think that's what it was, and then Yu-Gi-Oh. And then they did this one, which was like the bigger ones, like compared to the last 2 they did with the bigger animes. And I was super excited for them because like I've been listening to them for a long time, and the main singer is super talented, and I love the sound and direction that they took their band. Yes, so I was really excited to remix this one, and I was like, yo, I have to. As soon as I saw that they were announced for it, like, I gotta do it. So, I did it. Okay, so for this little verse section over here, I wanted to do like little left and right stuff happening with the guitar parts originally, because initially it was kind of like that in the original song. So I wanted to do something to represent that in my song. But I actually kept it going on throughout the entire song, in this verse, at least. And I just added on top of that. I like building things a lot in my songs, if you noticed. Let me transition after the breakbeat section into trap. Everyone loves trap, right? I just felt this section in the original song that it would really come out more as if I read it as trap. Specifically that section, because in that section in the original song they added more electronic aspects, and then they go back into the full-on rock song after that. So it's like more electronic aspects, and it's like halftime. I feel like trap would work really well for this section, so I did some trap. It turned out pretty good. And this section right here, right before the chorus, is almost like I just tried to recreate that from the original ones, because it's literally just electronic drum break, and it turned out pretty well. And I figured out that the little melodic build up is just a piano reversed. And yeah, it ended up being I think it is, because it ended up sounding very similar to what the original song is. So I recreated this section pretty well. I'm proud of that as well. So here we go. The chorus I wanted to go for halftime as well, but I wanted to try to vary it a bit more from what I usually do. So I added some like little glitchy synths that come in on the right after the first hit of the halftime. So let me show you. Those little bits in there, I thought, like, I was really proud of those. This sounded really cool. It ended up sounding really nice in the overall sound. And then we go to the 4 on the floor halftime section over here. No XI part. Oh man. I wanted to add that double bass in there. I couldn't resist it. Like, I wanted to go extra ham. So this song originally it was just the guitars here, nothing else. But I added a little drum kit in there, just to add a little more, just to rearrange it a little bit more and make it differentiate from the original. And I also bring in guitars. Yeah, this is where I bring in the guitar. I thought I wanted to bring in guitars into the song, and I thought this section right here would be the perfect part to bring it in because it's a breakdown. It's to kind of like separate the sections back here that's just electronic, and now we're adding guitars and drums. And this next section, I was really proud of how it turned out because I wasn't sure if it was going to sound good or not. Basically, I used a real drum kit along with a bunch of synth stuff instead of using electronic drum kits with synth stuff. We're using an acoustic one, and it ended up being pretty aggressive, and I liked how it turned out. But I feel like overall the drums in this song could have been a lot louder in general, or the acoustic drums at least. But yeah, here it is. I love this solo. Oh god. Yeah, so this solo basically is the same chords that was happening in the chorus, but the solo itself, I wanted to come in as hard as I could, and I felt like the most striking thing to come in with was striking rhythms. So basically the whole song, the whole backing track here is in straight, so and then the solo is swung, so and that on top of each other, on top of it just exploding after silence, is like hits you in the face, and I just love the impact of that. Like usually solos like this, whenever they end up being like really good, I just kind of do it in the heat of the moment, just like inspired by just whatever I'm listening to at the time. Like so when I make solos like this and they end up like this, it's never like really on purpose. It's kind of like a lot passion driven. A lot of the stuff I do in general is very passion driven, so that's why it's very intense. But yeah, solo section. I love this part. Honestly, it took a while to get the levels on that section like mixed well, because having guitars and electronic stuff mixed together, it's kind of hard to balance, because a lot of the times when guitars I mix, it's kind of like a left-right kind of thing, and they're like pretty forward in the mix that way. But electronic stuff, you have a lot of different elements that have to be specific volumes and stuff like that. So it took a bit to try to get a balance between them. I'm still not entirely sure if I did to the best of its capacity. I feel like it could have been better, but I don't know. This is why I landed on, because at this point I was like kind of trying to release things as much as I can, just because these are new, fresh animes that are happening. So I was trying to get things out instead of trying to be on the mix for too long. Try to release things on like a weekly or bi-weekly basis. But yeah, I really love how this part turned out. Definitely really unique, and I want to do more like this. I mean, bringing out the guitar is a lot of work, but it's something that whenever I do bring it out, I want it to be, as good as it can be. So yeah. All right. Okay, this section, I'm kind of disappointed a little bit. The mix in this section could be a lot better. Especially the drums could be louder. But the idea here was to have like a my idea here was I'm trying to think what song it was. Yeah, my idea for this section was the breakdown in Riri by Asian Kung Fu Generation. That was my inspiration for this section. I want to do something similar to that, like that kind of feel. If you don't know it, you can look it up. Riri, I think it's in the middle of the song somewhere where they do the whole instrumental breakdown. When it goes halftime. That's my main inspiration for this section. Honestly, it could be mixed a lot better, but like the ideas and everything I put into it, I'm just really happy how it turned out overall. And I like this. This part's cool. I love that. I love the jump pattern where it's constantly. And that's like one of my favorite jump patterns. Another one of those repeating synth melodies. God, so many good melodies in this song. Super proud of it. Oh man. But yeah, so this section was to kind of, because the section before this was mainly focusing on the guitars and the drums having that kind of rock feel to it. And the next section, I wanted to focus more on a medley between the electronic stuff and the drums, and the electronic stuff and the guitars. And honestly, it turned out really cool. There's so many good melodies in this song. Nothing much different from the last part. Just changed up the drums a bit. And then we have the rest of the song as an outro for the entire remix. And yeah, there's my extended version remix of the Fire Force opening, Inferno by Mrs. Green Apple, featuring Will Stetson on the vocals. Yeah. I mean, I didn't like the anime too much myself. I just the fan service aspects of it were just turning me off too much. But really cool concepts and stuff like that. So overall, a fun project to work on. Great song. Well, next one, we'll see what we have. And it is Danmachi. So Danmachi, love this one. Hello to Dream. So Danmachi. Okay, this is the second season of Danmachi. This is the opening to it. This is one of my underrated tracks of 2019, but honestly, it's like on the production side, it's like one of my all-time favorite tracks I've done in general. Everything in it just works so well, and the drop is something I haven't tried before, and it turned out to be one of my favorite drops I've ever made. Like, so good. Like, it sucks that people are sleeping on this one. I love it so much. And we got a new vocalist, Takara. We're gonna be doing more with her as well in the future. She's like really busy with school and work and stuff. So we'll see when she'll be able to get the vocals done. But the project we have in mind is gonna be huge. Just saying, it's gonna be great. So Takara, please watch out for her stuff in the future. But I fucking love this song. This is one of my favorite ones, like I said. So let's go from the beginning. Bass. Not really, not much bass. But okay, so whenever I heard that little riff that comes in the original song, I was like, yo, what if we just put bass on top of that? What if we put fucking trap on top of that as a joke? And then we did it, and it sounded great. I'm like, let's keep it. And we go right in. I love this kind of thing. I've done this a few times in the past, where it's just a kick and some plucks just for the verse. That's one of my favorite sounds. These plucks and then building up the plucks, getting louder and louder and being wider. That's one of my favorite things to do. You guys probably already know that. And it opens up here, and then closes back. It's like a little like pump fake. And it finally goes to the next section. Okay, also in this section, I used a different synth from a Nexus preset. A lot of times when I use Nexus, I try to look at specific ones that like, this would be hard to use, and try to find a way to use it. So the specific one I used kind of like pans back and forth between left and right, and it's kind of like a, it's kind of like an init combined with like more saws and stuff to make like an interesting kind of like chord kind of synth. And I use it almost entirely up until the chorus here, and then building up a bit as the chords in general. Because whenever you play it once, it starts in one ear, and then the rest of it goes if you play it the rest. So I made sure that the bigger chords would kind of go back and forth. And I end up working as a nice little like element in here of like something that's different as the build up. So that's how I found a way to make this a bit different here. Also a little build up into the chorus. I think I copy and pasted the I copy and pasted that to layer it, and I think it was moved over a little bit. I'm like, and let's just keep it, and I kept it, and it sounds cool as a little like variation in the chords there. I think that turned out pretty well. A lot of little happy accidents here. Against the chorus. Yeah, happy hardcore kind of thing. Tried some different kind of chord synths. The classic 4 on the 4 halftime. Hey. Okay, so this breakdown. Real drum set. Wait, not yet. Not real drum set yet. Not yet. But we got that trap synth that I used a long time ago in Dododo. Still in there. Real drum set. Boom, boom, ah. I love this one. This is when I got a new drum set actually. So I decided the first time using a new drum set preset, build up synths, and then wait. Okay, so for this drop, I've listened to like Jersey club music for a long time now, and I've never actually tackled making an actual like legitimate Jersey club drop. So in this project, I wanted to do that. So basically what a Jersey Club drop usually has is like some kind of vocal chops in there. And of course the infamous boom, 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 over the vocal chops and stuff like that. And eventually they add in like break beats over on top of that. But a lot of the time it's just a big emphasis on the drums and the vocal chops. And I never actually did that. I've never really used vocal chops in my songs. There are some exceptions here and there, but for the most part, I've never really used vocal chops as like the focus in my songs. So for this drop, I really wanted to hone in on using the vocal chops, and the emphasis on the drum beat. And I kind of transformed it eventually from like a general Jersey Club song to like a DJ Joe style Jersey Club, and then straight up DJ Joe future bass drop. The second half, yeah, this is one of my favorite drops I've ever made, like all time. This is like, oh god, I love it. Okay, I'll just let you guys listen to it. It's so good. Oh yeah, I forgot about the squeaks. Gotta add the squeaks in there. And again, I love this melody so much. Okay, so let's talk about the section a little bit. So basically what I did, bass is boom, 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 just simple stuff. But then this section, I wanted to highlight the bass here. So whenever the sections I wanted to highlight the bass, I made sure that the lead synths were doing a little bit less than what they were doing beforehand. Love that part so much. Same thing over here. Simplify the lead, make the bass come up. And then back to normal. Hey. Also, after that section right here, that's a little shout out to Haru Modoki. Oh, sorry. It's the second opening to Snafu Odagairu, which the long name of it is, let's look it up. Yahari ore no seishun love comedy wa machikatteiru. Or my teen romance comedy. Or my youth romantic comedy is wrong as I expected. That show. So that show, it's one of my favorite shows, one of my favorite slice life drama shows. And my remix of the second opening I did a long time ago is a really nice one. I love the music in the show. I've been meaning to try to do some tribute songs to that show sometime. Maybe I might do some the latter half of this year when the new season comes out. Oh wait, the new season comes out in the spring, so I'll do it in the spring. Okay, I'll do it in the spring. But I added that little melody like from the intro. I added that melody into this song just as a little shout out, as a transfer to the next half of the song. But it goes like this. And we're back into it. Nothing much different about this last half of the song, but really happy with how this one came out. Super proud of it, and yeah, super hyped for whatever more things I do with this genre, because I want to do this again sometime in the future. And if you haven't checked this out yet, please go check it out. I mean, you're listening to it right now if you're watching the video, but yes, one of my most proud projects of 2019, Hello to Dream, featuring Takara on the vocals from Danmachi Season 2. Alright, let's move on to the next one. Gurenge from Kimetsu no Yaiba, Demon Slayer. Good stuff. So, this song. Susume. Oh man. This is like the opening of 2019. Honestly. This is like so iconic. I mean, opinions off the anime aside, whatever you think about anime of the decade is quite a bit to give this to, because the whole Funimation thing on Twitter, yikes. But that's a fan thing. It's a fan voted thing, so we can't really like be too surprised about it because it's fan voted. Okay, I'll stop about that. Gurenge. So this project, I wanted to play as much as I could in this project. I wanted to make this a big one because it's such an iconic song. And Une, amazing job with the vocals. She's like one of the best vocalists I've collabed with. But yes, I want to start the song off just like how it originally started off. Nothing too different. Adding some pads on top, maybe. Maybe drop it. Hey, I feel like I could have done this section a little bit better. Maybe added some breakbeats on top of it. Oh right, okay. The reason why I didn't add breakbeats on top of that is because I was going to be adding breakbeats right after that, because I didn't want too many breakbeats to be into the song, and I didn't want to keep relying on breakbeats as well, because I've been using them a lot recently. So I didn't want to use breakbeats way too much everywhere, so that it kind of be overbearing for people to hear. I didn't want to overuse it, because I was going to use it specifically in this song, and if I was going to use it, I wanted to highlight it at specific parts. So little breakbeats in here, different ones from the original ones. Just want to give it a little flair. And instead of using instead of using just electronic piano, instead of using electronic guitar, hold that thought. Instead of using electric guitar here, we're using electronic piano. And it gives a really cool vibe. A lot of people say this part kind of sounds like a Persona song. I feel that vibe. I see you. But yeah, happy how this first came out. Complextro. I haven't done a Complextro part in a while, so as soon as the opportunity I could do one, I wanted to do it. So Good came around. I'm like, yo, 135. We could do Complextro. Let's do it. So we did some Complextro stuff in there. Let's go through it. There's a lot. There's a lot to go through here. Well, basically, I used a lot of the stuff that I used like an XU. If you guys remember that one, I did some similar stuff to there, but just it's processed a bit better than the EQing that I did in XU. And I added a few extra, and the inclusion of Serum really made this section more solid as a whole. If you're comparing it to XU, and it turned out so good. Okay, I love things like that where it's a build-up, where it's just a hit and then a bunch of stuff, another hit and a bunch of other stuff. I took a lot of inspiration from Porter Robinson's Easy. I think that's it. Let me go double check. I'm gonna play it. Okay, yes, it was definitely Easy. So yeah, I took a lot of inspiration from like the build-up section, I think towards the end of Easy, by Porter Robinson in this section over here, and here it is. A little too much though, but honestly, like, I love that build-up a lot. It's definitely something different than I've done before in the past. Then we go into the chorus. We got breakbeats. We got not breakbeats, but we got like a breakbeat type beat going without actual breakbeats on top of them. Wanted to use a different kind of synth other than super saws. Add some synth tone files as well as some vibrato into the chords. Haven't done that in a while. Bringing in chords, solid chords in the second half of the chorus so it can vary a bit more. Kind of made this one up, made this melody up kind of on the spot as I needed to fill it in this section. Kind of changed it a little bit as it was going on, but I think it ended up being a nice little melody here. And I loved what I did towards the transition between this section and the next section. So basically, a huge like da 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 right over here. And, da, 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 da. So cool. Basically, that's just being on one note, lots of reverb up, cutting it hard. I love extreme shit like that, where it's like a huge build up into silence or a huge build up into like bass. I love that. That's one of my favorite things to do, as I'll say. So the bass came out a little stronger than I anticipated here, but I thought it was fine as a good contrast to the section I did before. So I wanted to do a halftime chorus in this song. I did like this because I haven't. I was thinking back to Rise and how I did all those big saws everywhere, but I haven't done, in this tempo specifically, the slower tempos, I haven't done big saws in general in a while, compared to like I did in like 2018. So I want to do like a big saw halftime drop over here, but mainly doing saws and nothing else, if that makes sense. So like older DJ Joe stuff where I did that, where it's like I was really inspired by stuff like Seven Lions, with like just big super saw everywhere kind of thing. I want to do that here as well. Because I never did one that's just full on super saws in a while, so I want to do that because I want to refresh that sound for myself. More sound design. That was a massive wub. I used a bunch of mostly Serum in this song, but every now and then I just kind of throw in a massive patch in there every now and then. But mainly Serum. I usually mainly use Serum, but every now and then I like to throw in Massive to give that little flashback to the past. So this section, I want to do something a bit more different here. As of recently, I was receiving some comments before this song about saying how my style was all power and it doesn't have a lot of breakdowns anymore. So this specific section, I wanted to have a longer breakdown here. It's something more different than I usually do. So I had the idea of doing this kind of like bass kind of plucky thing throughout the entire part, and not having too many things, just focusing on like two aspects, so a plucked synth and then pianos, and then a real drum set as well. Love this drum set. I actually cut off a little bit too much of the low end, just enough to where it doesn't have as much impact when the kick hits. That was a mistake on my part. I could have animated the EQ here, but it's fine. It ended up being okay anyways. Side chaining the drums to the electronic drums. Yeah, bring in more things. Low filter in those saws. I'm still kind of iffy on that fill, but it's too late to change that. So a bunch of syncopated, lots of fast stuff here. Then we go into the house. Well, my version of it at least. Oh, this part. Changed up the kick here. I had a very reverby synth. Reverby synth and snare. Oof. That's such an impactful little section there right before the little build up at the end. So this build up. Oh man. Whew. Man, whenever I get into sections like these build ups into the drops, like, oh man, whenever I start making the drops on stream, I just can't stop making it because I'm so inspired to make something as intense as I did in this song. Like, I was so inspired while making this song. Oh, Jesus Christ. Heavy influences from Larkless. So good. Fun fact, this video took like 3 or 4 hours to render, I think. Oh, that's like, maybe not 3 or 4, but 2 or 3 hours. Just because of this last section. I love this part so much. Okay, so let's go through that little drop. Okay, let's go back a little bit. Okay, so build up. We're bringing more break beats. Okay, so this section here, use some new claps, and then I wanted to do in this section. I wanted this section to be a little bit more intense as it ended up being, but I just couldn't find something. I just couldn't make the sound that I wanted to at the time, so I just kind of just left it as it was. But this section, I wanted to do something like those really fast hardcore songs, those crazy like breakcore type songs, crazy breakcore, hardcore, rhythm gamey, high tempo. What's his name? Hold on a second. There was a guy who does stuff like this. Okay, got it. So DJ Sharpnell is the guy who does stuff that I was kind of basing off of what I was going for. So basically like basically crazy breakcore type bass kick over here. I try to do stuff like that, but I think next time I'm going to look up tutorials on specifically how to get that sound. But at this time I was just trying to get to the drop because I was really excited about the ideas I had. And it ended up being all right. It's not too bad. It's still pretty hype, and if you didn't know what I was comparing it to, it sounds fine. Hey, so how I made these synths here. So basically there was a distortion filter that I haven't tried out. And I used that for everything here and made everything sound super crunchy, and then I just like compressed the hell out of everything. I made a bunch of interesting sounding sounds by doing that. I also layered sine waves over like really intense wavetables, and then I think I not quantized. Hold on, let me check something real fast. I used sync. So basically I synced up and did this over like a really rough synth. So something like this, and then adding this over on top of it, which would give the synth a tonal quality to where it would make it go or it would have like a screaming type effect on top of it. And I did that for a lot of the synths here, and you could really hear it go off during the song. Like those kind of noises I was done through automating the sine wave using whatever I just showed you. that one filter I just showed you. God damn, I'm sorry. But super duper proud about this ending. Like, this is one of the most aggressive drops I've done in a while. So good. There's some weird like stereo mixing with this ending. I probably should fix that in the future. But overall, I'm super duper proud of that ending. I was trying to figure out what to do for the ending, and I decided to just hit a snare, add a bunch of reverb, and then just bit crush it to hell, and then we call it a day. And there you go. That's the Kimetsu no Yaiba opening, Gurenge. My remix of it, classic song. Well, there we go. Next song is Mind Brand. Let's do it. Next song is Mind Brand by Maretu, or Martu, however you say his name. Sorry. So for this one, for the tuning, I decided to go for Iya Rocks. And I haven't tuned a song with Iya in a while. Or just tune a song in general, other than the Miku one. And I took a lot of inspiration from how the original vocals were tuned, having those little vocal cracks in there. I'm really proud of how it turned out after the compression and everything, making it a full vocal track. How it sounds overall, like, it ended up sounding really cool, and I am personally really proud of the Vocaloid work on this song. But remix said, the remix on the remix side of things, sorry. So I actually did this remix a long time ago. We could actually look it up. Let me see. Mind Brand. 7 months ago compared to 2 months ago. Damn, that's way too long. So I did this version. So this was initially commissioned by Kurainu back in May, when I was able to get it to him and he was able to upload it. But it wasn't until a lot later where I actually uploaded this one myself to my channel using the Vocaloid version. And for this version, I actually redid some stuff, cleaned up some parts. And yeah. Overall, both versions are great. I don't necessarily prefer one version over the other because one's in English and one's in Japanese. But I'm like a I kind of usually go for like some more to the original side because that's just personal preference for me. But overall, this project ended up being pretty nice. Not too. I didn't really stray too far away from the original composition. But I made sure to incorporate my newfound love in rhythm dubstep. And yeah, this song is basically has a bunch of rhythm aspects into it. Yeah, overall, I think it ended up being pretty aggressive, and I really liked it that way. It's a pretty aggressive song in general, lyric-wise, so yeah. Your first rhythm started with "This Is Halloween." Yeah, you're right. I never really incorporated rhythm too much into my other songs after that project, because I never really found a song aggressive enough to really add it more, really add it into the song. Oh yeah, I forgot to go over it. In Rise, I did add a little bit of rhythm in there as a little section. But I never really did a full like rhythm dedicated song in a while. So I wanted to take the Mind Brand song and do it with that one. But yeah, take in mind that this was done in May as well, so that was a little bit closer to when I did the This Is Halloween remix. But yeah, we now go into some trap into this section over here. Try to go a little bit extra with the hi-hats. But yep, so I do some cool things with some panned harmonies. Right there. Oh, sorry, the volume was a bit low here. But of course, into some super saws here. Doing songs and swing, it always ends up being a really fun time as well. I love it. Okay, but let's see. Next section is the drop. Bum, 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 bum. Simple and sweet. I liked how the pluck here sounded, so I just kept it with there. Didn't really do too much with the. Originally there was a guitar solo here, but I thought having it being more of an aggressive EDM style here fit it a bit more. With the current song as how it was already being produced, I felt like doing a rhythm like a dubstep drop there would have been better than doing a guitar solo type or a synth solo type drop. But yes, a little bit more after that is nothing too different. Actually, right after the drop is something really cool. So I love doing these sections where I just put a bunch of percussion and hard compress it all, have it as a background element. One of my favorite things to do. On top of interesting synth as well. Brings it back in. That really focuses more on the melody on top here. It's interesting, when I released this one, I got a few comments saying like, they like the song but they don't like the lyrics. I feel like this song really blew up a lot in the Western audience in terms of the Vocaloid community compared to the Eastern audience. A lot of the times, from what I've been told, a lot of like Japanese songs and stuff like that tend to be more on the happier side. That get like the ones that get a little bit more popular. But it's a little bit different when it comes to the Vocaloid community. A lot of times they have some weird fucked up shit that gets pretty big. But for the most part, I guess us Westerners like more extreme things, or just more edgier things. I feel like we're a lot more edgier when it comes to liking this kind of stuff. But that's just my point of view of it. It's not. That's probably not exactly how it is, but that's just how I see it. But overall, solid song. Outro, I feel like. The outro in this song, I feel like could have been used a little bit more. But when I came back to the song, because I did live stream making the song. But when I came back to it a few months later when I released it for my channel, I kind of kept it as it was. So I felt like it was all right because it matched the original more. So I just kept it as it was. But I can't help to say that I could have done more there. But it's all right. It's over now. But there it is, Mind Brand by Maretu, the digital remix featuring Iya Rocks. Now, next one we shall go to is... Oh shit, I forgot. We gotta do the Imnaku EP. So earlier I was talking about the EP I did with my brother. So this EP. Whew, man, wow, what a time. My brother is so freaking talented. I did not know he could write this great of music. And like when I saw this potential, I was like, yes, we have to write it. We have to make an EP. And one of both my brother and I's favorite things in music in general are concept albums that have a continuous mix. And we really wanted to put that into this album, this mini album. So the whole thing with the Naku project, it has a lot of influences between like old 21 Pilots aesthetics. It has a lot of Cave Town aesthetics as well, lo-fi aesthetics everywhere. It's a very unique sound, really. It's all combined with a slightly electronic aspect to it as well. You know, coming from the Cave Town inspirations, having like trap drums and weird synths and things like that. Organs, as you can hear right now. But the main thing that drives everything is the ukulele. That's the main instrument that he uses. Minus Zanny, which is a mainly piano-based song. But overall, this is a lot of the things that go on this song. Was just me producing what Naku wanted, his vision for what he was writing, and like it's crazy. Like just working with him is so cool. But yeah, a bunch of edgy stuff. That's his brand, edge. But if you ever have some time, please check out this EP. I'm really, really proud of it, and I feel like he has so much potential to blow up. So this next section here, we found a breakbeat, and we stretched it really large. We stretched it really wide, and it extended the duration of it. And then we cut it to pieces, and then we used it as the beat for this section here. There's a really unique feel to it. And we go and add some distortion to the drums. Yeah, not distortion, but we hard compress them with some slight distortion. And we add some organs in there. This is a pantomime. We actually started. He didn't have this song written down. We actually made this song as like just from scratch, randomly as a joke, as like, what if it was like an abusive relationship, and like the guy actually kind of liked it, kind of thing. And we kind of just went really extreme with the lyrics as a joke, and it was like, yo, this actually works. And then we made the song. It was hilarious. It was so funny. And then, yep, distortion on the vocals, adding more saturation into the chords and everything. Yelling. My favorite part, so cool. So this part, a bunch of ukulele parts put together. Then we got a throwback to his old song, Stage Struck. And then gang vocals. So those gang vocals, a lot of times when we did a lot of the gang vocals that we did in the song, we did a lot more at the end of the song. It was me and my brother for these gang vocals at first. And then when we get to the ending gang vocals, it was me, my brother, and my sister. So we all sat down right here. We got a chair over here, and we just yelled into the mic. It was fun as hell, because every now and then we would also add like woos or yeah or wow or some yells or random shit, and then we put them all together. We recorded like 20 plus tracks, and we put them all together, and you're about to see what it sounds like in this last section over here. This next section is completely different from the rest of the song. Because it also reflects on what he's saying in the vocals as well. Because if you hear it, it's kind of like Franks are hanging on the wall instead of off the wall, and the bass is not broken anymore. It's just kind of like, it shows the contrast between the first half and the second half. So we changed the instrument to make everything more intense and stuff like that as well. So yeah, all the vocals I talked about, like so many recordings for this. I love recording these. So that's pantomime. And then for here we did like a sort like a little transition between pantomime and food. We put a plane in there, royalty-free plane, yay. And then we faded in the ukulele all the way up into food. Hey.
I just wanna
Hey.
stay at
And this is the strictly lo-fi song that we did on the album. So yeah, so he had this one written down a long time ago. And for this one, he had a clear vision of what he wanted to do. He wanted to strictly just do ukulele, hard chained to some drums, and just lo-fi the hell out of it. And that's what we did. Just made a lo-fi song. One of the nice standout songs of the EP. One because it's just strictly one genre. Super catchy too. One of my favorite ones on this. Such a good songwriter. God damn it. Great songwriting. I love it. After this, solo ukulele goes on, slows down, but we go into some thoughts. So some thoughts. This was actually the first song that we made of the EP, and this was done a while ago. This was done after Stage Struck, and from here we weren't sure. He wasn't sure if he was going to do an EP or an album yet. It ended up being an EP because there was a lot of things that he wanted to incorporate in the album that wouldn't go well in a short form format, and he wanted to get some stuff out earlier rather than later. So we decided to go for EP instead of album. So this is gonna be really interesting when we do the album as well. 'Cause it's also gonna be connected to this one hopefully. So it's gonna be cool. I'm really excited for the future. But so this one just starts vocals and Naku, and then it drops. 1, 2. Hey, love this one. Experimented a lot with effects on the ukulele as well. So we tried to find something that would work well in this section. I don't exactly remember what we put on it, but I think there's a chorus and some distortion on there, and we filtered it out, something like that. We had a glockenspiel on top. Usual trap drums. This song exudes the most amount of old 21 Pilots feels as well, especially this section with the whole low bass, the kind of buzzy bass at the bottom, along with the really reverby pianos. It was a really interesting mix. Also throwing in some trap drums and then to modernize it as well. A lot of cool ideas being thrown around here and there. But yeah. So after this section, we go into a little breakdown. Just kind of outro into the next section. Chill part. Hey. I actually did this whole section in one take. So I was on the key piano. Dumb. I was on the keyboard using an electric piano. There you go. I was trying to say. And I just kind of played to his vocals, and we just fixed some minor stuff afterwards. But for the most part, this was done all in one take. So this is nice. At first, Naku did not like these wubs here. At first, it seemed a little off-putting, but as you slowly listen to the current draft of the song, they slowly grew on him, and he said to keep it in there, and we kept it in. And I honestly think it's a nice little addition. But yeah. Ridiculous range. Similar to the first chorus, just more intense. Adding this synth in here. So cool. And he had the idea to put those specific notes in there. In the old draft of this song, when he just played on the piano, he specifically hit that note, those specific notes really loud on it to give that little kind of thing in there. It's so cool. So this little ending section, being the edginess that his brand is, he wanted to make it so it completely stops right here. Right there. And that's kind of the thing where it's kind of super edgy. Oh no, what actually happened to the guy singing it? Did he die or something like that? And everyone loves kind of edgy tension now and then. And I agree though, it kind of gives that It adds the extra edge to whatever he needed to do to make it more edgy. I mean, for real though, it's a cool aesthetic. I like things that are like extreme like that. So we share the same kind of aesthetic, my brother and I. So extremes everywhere, boys. So this song, Zanny, he wanted to keep this one as if people could actually play it. So like we have a piano, right? Drum set, and then we have a synthesizer. And he wanted to make it like everything in one specific, everything in their own tracks, nothing too extra, but as if it's a band, but having synthesizers, you know, having people actually playing the synthesizers. That was the kind of the concept behind this one. So there's piano here, eventually drums come in, and then synths come in. He didn't want to make it so that there are too many different like electronic samples or anything, just keeping the drums, you know, the drum set in there. Nothing else other than the drum set. I tried to experiment adding claps and some other things there, and it ended up not sounding as good as the vision that he wanted to put out with this song. But this song is really cool, really cool. Love the songwriting in this one as well. I love the chorus. The hook is so good. It's a very unique song. Not exactly what you would think when you see the word Zanny, but it's very cool. And I feel like when you see the word Zanny in modern songs nowadays, it's always like a hip hop song or something like that. Think I'm okay. Added that little vocal processing in the left ear, just kind of make it even more intense. It's this really cool songwriting here, really cool lyrics, really cool melody. I just can't stop singing phrases for my brother. And for the most part, I did all the drum programming with the watchful eye of Naku, just adding, so you should do this, you should do this. But for the most part, I did all the drum playing programming here. We have pretty similar tastes in what we would like for drum fills, so it was pretty smooth sailing. This section sounds the most like a 21 Pilots song. Really cool though. I like the addition of the saws in there. Okay, so for this section, gang vocals again. 20 plus tracks put in together to get this sound. It's really cool. Love doing these kind of things. The gang vocals were just made of literally just my brother and I, just two of us, recording this over and over and over again, away from the mic. And more intense, and then we were thinking of putting drums here, but we thought it would just be a lot better to just leave it with just piano and strings here. And it was a good decision. I think it's a nice way to end the track. And a lot of the times whenever we recorded songs for this EP, my brother, he would something would be wrong with his voice. So we would have to do a lot of takes to where like this would have to be it because we can't redo it because, you know, he's sick or something, or his voice just isn't good that morning. And since he lives a bit away from me, like around almost 2 hours away from me, like he would only be able to come over here specific amounts of time because, you know, he has work and everything like that. So we were struggling a bit to finish up this EP just because he couldn't find time to come over, and that's why it took so long to make. But overall, really proud how the whole thing came in. Now the last song on the EP, really quick one, like a minute and some seconds. It's called You'll Be Here, and it's a really nice one. Yeah, he wrote it all, and I didn't have much in the process of making this one. It's mainly just him. And yeah, it's a wonderful way. I mean, I did the mixing of the vocals and stuff like that. But for the most part, he composed the whole song for this one. And yes, it's a great song. I love it a lot. I love this part right here. So good. Yeah, it didn't take him long to record these vocals. I think it only took like 2 tries. It took a bit to get that last harmony though. For the mains, it didn't take too long. But that last harmony is super high, so I understand. But yeah, there it is. You'll Be Here by I'm_Naku. And yes, please check this project out. It's one of my favorite ones that I've done all year. I really love doing these original collaborations with people, and you're definitely going to expect some more in 2020 if we can get it done, because I'm planning an album for Nice Rice and an album for Imnaku. I'm not sure when the Naku album will be coming out, but we might do a single or something like that before the album. But other than that, really please look forward to these guys' work. They're very talented people, and I hope that their stuff blows a little bit more next year. But with that out of the way, let's go on to the next song. And here we are, Colors, Code Geass. Oh yes, Code Geass. I've always wanted to remix this one. My connection to this song isn't actually me watching the anime. It's actually me performing in an anime band. I used to be in an anime band with my brother and my sister. And we did a few, like 1 or 2 shows and conventions and stuff like that. Nothing big. But it was more like a passion project. And we covered a bunch of anime songs, and this is one of the ones that we covered. And I sang a lot of harmonies on it because I was a secondary vocalist. So I just love this. I just love this song because of the song, and that was my connection to this. But yeah, I also sang this one because of my connection to it, and I liked it a lot. I wanted to sing it as well, so I did. So let's go from the beginning. So I have to start with the timpani, just like the original. Also, the original had trumpets and horns like that also sounded similar to like a sound font with an older sounding synthesizer trumpet, so I didn't want to change that. And it'd be just easier for me to do instead of hiring people to play trumpets. But yeah, I just did that at the beginning. With some saws in the background. I wanted to keep that the bouncy bass in the bottom from the original. I want to kind of keep that feel to it. So I just left it in there like that. Which is kind of electronic arrangement version. This section here, over here. Okay, so what I did here was I did reverse electric pianos. So I played whatever the chords were, and then reversed it, and then put those kind of sounds where they belonged, and it ended up having a really cool effect there. And what else did I add in the background? It's like arps and stuff. And drew some melodies. And I think that's a koto or something. Some kind of Asian instrument I used for the plucks there. Add a bunch of reverb to that. Bring electronic elements in. I love this section. So, windy synths back and forth falling up and down with pluck basses going hard. I thought that idea was so cool. Oh, so this piano is actually the same piano I used in Hello to Dream. In the drop for Hello to Dream. If we could find that real fast. Let's cut to Hello to Dream right about now. So the piano here is the same piano I used in Colors. Anyways, back to Colors. Alright, so we're back. So yeah, that's the same piano I used there, and I call this section the Avicii section because it kind of sounds like levels. So we got a drum fill from the original, and we added a bunch of effects on the drum fill, like a phaser, and we go right into it. It's like a progressive house version of it. I wanted to do something similar to my Spice remix. I love that. I love that so much. Transition to this next section here. Hey, same piano I used in Hello to Dream. I wanted to do those vocal cuts there because I wanted to kind of do a Jersey club kind of part here. But not entirely because there's still vocals existing on top of it, but I didn't want to really mess with those vocals too much because, you know, it's the song. But I did want to add a little bit of vocal chops in there, so I decided to add that little section there just for fun. So this entire section here is really like feelsy, big saws. And the whole solo in this entire section is almost the same as an original one. I tried to just recreate it because it's like the iconic solo for me. This part is just a little bit different, but for the most part, the entire solo is the same. I decided to throw in some trap in there because I felt like it'd be a good time to, if I was gonna go if I was gonna go halftime in the song, going trap, I felt like would have been a natural selection to go halftime down. And then we go in. We call this the Viva La Vida section. It sounds like Viva La Vida. Clap, clap. Got some pads, some ahs. Let me build back up. I'm kind of like about this section here. I don't know, like I felt like this section could have been better. This halftime section here. I don't know, but it's too late now to change it. But yes, back into it. Back to the progressive house. I love that. The whole. I love that. one of the things I was trying to find to do differently, so I decided to accent the snares there is what I did. And over here, we kind of bring it full circle. Just a little melody on top of that was happening the same thing in the beginning as well, so I decided to bring it back here, yeah. So instead of using, was it piano here? I think there was a piano here. Yeah, instead of using piano here, I decided to use the synth and end it out that way. So yeah. And there it is, colors. I need to watch this show. Okay, where do we get the vocals? I sang them. Zenpaku is my alias. Zenpaku is my alias because I also use Zenpaku as my alias to make original music because I didn't want the word DJ to be in my original alias so it could be taken more seriously. So every time I sing on something, I'll just do featuring Zenpaku just because, you know, it's my other alias and it's vocals. And it's pretty cool to have a feature on it. Anyways, so that's colors. Let's move on to the next one. So this year's Halloween special was the Soul Eater opening. I was on a fucking grind to get this one out because I finished colors on the 25th and I had to release this by October, so I only had a few days to get this one finished and released. And it was right down on the wire. Like I finished the song, I think I finished the song. And then right as I finished the song, I made the video, then went to sleep, woke up, then released it. I think that's what happened. Right down to the wire. So I actually did a remix of this Resonance Soul Eater remix. I did a remix of this a long time ago, featuring Sojido, and it was uploaded on his channel. I'm trying to find it. October 21st, 2016. That's how old this project was. The drums aren't as impactful as the ones in the newer version. But for the most part, the sound design is solid. Yeah, so this is the old version. Let me go back to the newer version. Yeah, this one basically I didn't actually change much from the first 1 minute and 30 seconds. Just a lot of fixed EQing, a lot more impactful drums. Fixed the bass up a bit. Vocals are so good now, so good. They weren't bad last time, but like now they're just so much more refined, and it's just mixed a lot better. What do you think about the lower view count compared to the other music? It's fine. It's fine. It's all right. I mean, as long as I do the right things, it's not the worst. As long as I remix the right things and it isn't as bad. Honestly, I just think it's because a lot of my older subscribers just haven't like used their accounts anymore or something like that. I feel like a lot of my subs aren't representative of how many people actually listen to my music now, because my channel has been around for a while and I've been through a lot of breaks and stuff like that. So I feel like a lot of people just have older accounts that are subscribed to me, but that's okay. We got room to grow, man. That means we got room to grow, so it's all good. I added new sound design here and made it 4 on the floor. And we went to trap right away. Had some distortion vocals, made it pan to the right. Just went full out trap this time instead of doing a hybrid. So I want to do an emphasis on the bells here, and a really slow halftime drop as well. I feel like I could have done more here, personally, but I think it's okay as it is. Bring it full circle back from the beginning. And honestly, I probably could have EQ'd the little hi-hat, the hi-hat, because originally that thing pierced your ears in the original song. So I only made it pierce your ears slightly in my song. I should just made it not pierce your ears at all. Oh man. I want to do 4 on the floor there just to go back to the original song, how that was. Then go right back to the dubstep. I really like the little addition of the melody I added here. Hold on. I like how that worked well, because I was really trying to find what would work over the original da 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 da. I couldn't really find anything that I was happy with. And until I did something a lot more simpler. So I did the and repeated that over and over again. And added just enough flair to make the song different enough in this section. And then hard drop. Hey, I really wanted to do this. I've been enjoying doing like end of the song drops recently. I love it so much. I want to do the big kind of drops. This is my favorite too. Slowly fade in the original melody. The XI ending. Oh, gotta love it. Gotta love it. Oh man. Resonance. Yay! Next, Zelda month, baby. Let's do it. Hey, Zelda month. Here we go. So this year's Zelda month. I decided to do this song for the first one
and also for the 7 years of remix anniversary of the channel. Because Wind Waker is my favorite Zelda game. I really like though this game for the aesthetics though. It's just one of the most aesthetic ones in my opinion. I love the music so much, and I've always wanted to do the intro song, but I felt like I didn't have. I felt like I couldn't remix it because it was too like different of a song to do. And so I just kind of came with the idea when I was making the song Zanny, doing drums similar to that. Not Zanny, Some Thoughts, doing drums similar to that, but in a 3/4 timing like this. And that kind of sparked the idea to do this song. So I kept that idea with me throughout the year ever since I made Some Thoughts to remix this song when it came to November, because I finally found a way to do it. Using real drum sets and stuff like that. And then from there I just kept going while making the song, building off ideas off of that. And I made the song. And yeah, I really like this one. I honestly think these sections right here could have been held out a lot longer and then made the song a lot better. But overall the song was really long, that's why I didn't want to hold out these sections too long. But in the end I'm really proud of this one. I was looking for a mandolin instrument because I didn't have a mandolin plugin, and there was a whole process of me trying to find this mandolin, and I found a really expensive mandolin VST. I'm like, yeah, I don't want to spend like $100 on that. And then I found one that was stupid cheap. I think it was free, but it did not sound pretty realistic at all. And then I found one like right in the middle that was like $6 or something like that. And it sounded like this. It sounded amazing for $6. Like, yo, you can't beat that. You can't beat that. So I got pretty lucky finding one. Really good mandolin sample. I used this mandolin later as one of my more recent songs. The Toss a Coin to Your Witcher song used the same mandolin. But yeah, wanted to do a really long build up into the drop here. At least the first drop, because the song itself is so iconic. I just want to have its own, spotlight. Hey. I really love the drum programming in this song. It's so cool. Very like math rock-esque. Superstars galore. If there wasn't a superstar in the song, then it isn't a DJ just song. Oh, doing this in progressive house here felt right. I also couldn't really find a good art piece for this, and I didn't have time to commission one at the time, unfortunately. So the art in the video is kind of scuffed. Nothing too much to go through here. Really, it's just, there's a version of the song that has a whole, it's the credits version basically. The credits version of the song like takes the main theme and adds a bunch of other themes into it as well. And like, I love that version of the song. I never really remembered that version of the main title until I listened to it. And like, yo, I felt like I never listened to the song until I heard it. It was crazy. And I got so much goosebumps listening to it. And it's a very good arrangement of the song. And rearranging it again into electronic, yep, that's me. Yes, want to do some little variations here with the bum. Because it's been kind of doing the kind of similar beat up until this point, so I wanted to try and find a way to get different variations into it. So I decided on that. And then I found like a build-up that almost sounds like the reverse symbol on the RuneScape opening. Like, you know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about? Hold on. So this reverse build-up almost sounds like the intro in the RuneScape theme, right? And then we got a big ass drop here. I feel like this drop right here is a little aggressive. Okay, so this next part right here, I wanted to put in just straight up strings for this section just to give a little contrast from all the electronic stuff that's been going on. I did also add clarinet in the last part too, so I like mixing in real instruments and synthetic ones. And also experimenting with a bit new snares here as well. Screw genres, right? Doesn't matter, just make music. I actually haven't used that little like Mario-y sounding, like 8-bit sounding kind of thing with the Zelda theme in the back right here. I haven't used a synth like that in a while, so I decided to throw it back in. And slow down into harp ending with strings. This is actually, I just recreated the same exact thing they did in the credits roll. Didn't decide not to change the ending because I just thought it fit well with the original. And just the whole song rearrangement as a whole. So, there it is, Wind Waker title theme. 7 years of remixing. 7 years. Every time I listen to Joe, what genre is this exactly? So, next song on the list, Breath of the Wild theme. Let's do it. Alright, here we go. I did remix this once before, it was a collab remix actually with None Like Joshua. I could have done this song a bit differently if it was just by myself, so I could be a little bit more extreme with what I do with it. Because with the collab, obviously, you know, we had to have vocals on top of that, so we changed the track a little bit just to, you know, match the vocals. But with this one, I wanted to go all out. I honestly did a lot of really cool usage of percussion and drums in this one. I'm really proud of, especially this section right here. Oh yeah, let me show you something. So dun dun snap dun dun boom bam. So basically, I went to the mic and I recorded a bunch of weird snaps and hits on my hand and stuff like that, and I layered them all together and added a bunch of reverb on top of that, and I compressed the hell of it, and it sounds great. I'm really happy with how it sounds like. And I think my best friend Devonte, Nice Rice, gave me the idea to do that section right there. I'm so happy with the percussion in this place. I wanted to do just the strings here, just to highlight how the original made the strings look huge and grand and grandiose in this section. So I wanted to highlight that in the remix as well. I feel like the strings could actually be louder. Yeah, I wanted to do some crazy ass snare stuff here too. I was really trying to like one up myself. So I wasn't sure how to like go on with this song at this point. Because at this point the song actually ends here. So it's like a 2-minute song. So I was like, I was wondering what I should, you know, go into next. And I decided to go into the castle theme, and here we go. Hyrule Castle theme. I've already done a Hyrule Castle theme in the past before, so I want to kind of differentiate this one a little bit more, make it a little bit more rough. So over here, we transition into, I'm really proud of this next section. We transition into using the Breath of the Wild main theme in the same time signature of the Castle Hyrule theme. Okay, so yeah, it's 5, and it goes to 6 here. Then back to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, there you go. It goes to 5, 5, 6, 5, and it repeats it over and over again. It's such an interesting composition. I love it so much. I added stronger drums in this section, so we differentiate it from the first part. Add a little melody line here. Again, inspiration from the Easy song by Paul Robinson. Oh, I love it. It's so good. Oh man, more extra stuff. Hey. Ooh. I wanted to add that like that weird timing in there. Oh, I love this one. This is one of my personal favorite ones. But you know, I got some comments on it. Well, I got a comment on it saying like, you know, a lot of my stuff has been a bit too extra lately, and I understand that. So this year I'm trying not to do things too much. Too extra in terms of how complex this was, in terms of like time signature complexity. There's a bunch of sample complexity. I'm not trying to go too ham, but it really just depends on the song. But I don't know, because there's always that conversation of whether or not you want to, you know, improve yourself musically versus being too different from what your fan base wants. You know what I mean? There's always that kind of debacle between my mind, but we'll figure it out in 2020. But yes, next song and the final song of Zelda month this year. So, oh man, I love this one. Oh man, so I took what that guy said and applied it to this song and made sure not to do too many crazy things with rhythms and stuff like that, and make it more of a textual thing in this first part here. New vocalist as well, Rioni. Very, very talented girl. We'll be doing some new stuff with her in the future as well, so keep looking forward to that. But yes, this section over here, Chill Step, let's go. It's been a while since I did that. Love this song. A bunch of like organic percussion here, and then we got a really long build up, kind of like more calm, a more calmer section here than I've kind of been doing. A lot of my stuff has been just too ham lately. I just want to calm down a little bit here. But it does explode. So these strings were actually added during the mastering process because I wasn't sure what to add in this section because I felt like I needed something more, and I feel like the strings in here really added the extra oomph it needed to fill up the space there. And yeah, really love this build up here. Love this song so much, man. It's so feelsy. And I wanted to cut off the vocals just to be edgy here, and then hey. Actually, okay, so let's go back a little bit. So the you hear the background? That noise is actually the vocals being pitched downward falling over and over again. So those are actually the vocals you're hearing being used to make that sound, which is pretty cool. Okay, so that little like the chink kind of like metal sounding sound you're hearing is actually a breakbeat, really stretched out and distorted and compressed. And those are the hi-hats in the breakbeat. Hey, there's a really cool sound to it. Love this part. Oh, really proud of the sound design here. This section here is really cool as well. I found some thick saws to place the bottom of the snare, as the bass, sorry. And then we got some. Let's go back a little bit. And then we just got some arps up the top. Pretty basic, but very effective. Love it. Next section over here, coming up. Oh, I also have reverse pianos here as well. So yeah, these are just like very slowly approaching pads. And we got some triplet build up. Drop. Oh man, I love how intense that comes in. I love it so much. And this is just the drop synths over the end. Falling synths. Ooh. Decided to end it full circle. Just piano with reverse piano effects in there. So we end. Oh fuck! I love that song so much. Honestly, I think the Ballad of the Woodfish is like one of my best produced songs I've ever done. Like, God, it's so good. In terms of production and the quality of the mixing, and oh God, I love it so much. And that concludes the 2019 Zelda month. We only have one more month to go. Christmas. We got the month of December. And yes, but before we go there, thank you guys for supporting the channel ever since the Zelda stuff, people who are here ever since then. And yeah, every Zelda, that's why I do it every November. I do Zelda stuff just to support my roots, you know. I love Zelda, don't get me wrong, but like I kind of prioritize anime over that because I just became a huge weeb. But honestly, like Zelda music always has a place in my heart, so I never want to leave that. But yeah, thank you again guys for the support, and we shall move on back to the weeb stuff. Hey, so we got Mob Psycho 100, the ending song. I love this song so much. Oh God, I love it. Honestly, it's more of my aesthetic compared to the opening songs. It's so cool. It's so I love it. I love it. I love it. But yes, this is it. Refrain Boy, featuring a brand new vocalist, Shane Orrock. I actually got these vocals in the middle of the year of 2019. I never got to get to the project until December. And gosh, Shane is so talented. It's ridiculous. Like his channel really blew up this year and last year. Like for anime stuff, like he's been on the ball. I think it was this year and last year, but mostly this year his channel's been blowing up. And like, gosh, he's so talented. It's crazy. But yes, my first collaboration is gonna be more in the future. And oh, it's so good. I love it. Oop. Buffering, I love it. But yes, this is Refrain Boy, my remix of it. Let's start from the beginning. So I wanted to go pretty aggro with this song because the song in the first place is pretty damn aggro, so I had to match the energy. So this section, I wanted to make a really interesting sounding lead to kind of be in the front as the main focus and have a more focus on that instead of the chords and stuff there. Then we go into this section here. Really fast and plucky synth, I love that so much. And in the original, in the background, they have like the guitar heavy amount of reverb doing the little doing that little thing on top. I wanted the focus in this specific section to be the little pops in the chords and wanting to have that little top melody line as kind of a background kind of thing. So that's what I did here. I used a sine wave to do the melody line on top that's pretty quiet, and I also used a music box thing to layer that as well to give it a little bit more presence, but not too much presence. We'll go right away into the breakbeats. New breakbeats as well. I got new breakbeats for the song as well. I use an interesting bass as well. As you can tell, you can hear some of that vibrato on the bass. It's a Nexus bass with OTT on it. It's a Maximus as well. The next section here. This section is just one synth over here and one synth over here, pretty loud. And then in the end, both of them start playing towards the build-up to make a really big build-up right here. Hey, I love these drums. Oh, it's so good. I also got new drums too. Yeah, basically this is a rearrangement of the original, just with more intense electronic synths here. And then we go back to the intro. A real drum set now with some pads. I gotta add in those hi-hats. Hey, so real drum set as the main thing, but just layering the snare with the traps there. I love this section. In the original, it's just the guitars there going. But instead of doing that, like screw the guitars, let's add fucking strings. I love it. Tough time. Hey, future bass. I love that. Too much high end there. There's a lot of high end problems in specific places in the song. I could have fixed later, but it's fine. I had to release it. I had to move on to other projects this month. And also the first time I used that weird snare here. The flop snare. Interesting stuff there. I feel like it was used alright. I feel like I have to find better occasions or better ways to use that snare in the future. To go back and forth between some hard drum step and that weird snare section as a build up. Let me just go for 4 here. This solo is a recreation of the original solo in the song. I like this section here. A little. I think I made this melody up here. No, I didn't. No, this wasn't the original. I just reapplied it to a different sip there. And it's such a good section here. Just a little section. Love the drums too. Break beats. A little breakdown there. I really wanted to highlight those. Hey. Oh yeah, the background. That took a while to do. So here, okay, so in the background. So all that build up with the darkness to brightness, that in the original video, it happens really fast in the video. So I had to like pause at specific times. It took a bit. It took a bit to find each frame I needed to take a picture of, just to make that happen. And then here we are. Oh gosh, started with the usual chorus, and then changed it up with this. I feel like this chorus could have been mixed a lot better, but it is what it is. I wasn't really sure what else to add in this section without making it too full here. So I just did the main melody in the right ear, and then wubs in the center, and then added chords after that. Yeah. Yes, though. Outro. Let's do it. Similar to the beginning. Dang, I love how Sean's ends. Oh, it's so good. Oh, it's so good. So aggressive. I love it. Love the aggression. Mob Psycho 100 ending 1, Reframe Boy featuring Shane Orrock. There we go. That was uploaded the first song for December. Now we shall move on to the next one. So this is my Christmas special this year. I actually did a Christmas special. It's been a while since I did one of those, but had to rush this one out because I was a bit busy working on some other stuff, and I had a show. Holiday Matsuri was also after that song I released before this one, so I didn't have much time to work on this. But the amount of time I had, I think I did a really good job. Oh man, I wanted to go as ham as I could with this. I've been meaning to do classical song remixes too, though, because like I have so many cool ideas for classical song remixes. I just don't know the appeal for them. You know what I mean? But yeah, this is. I'm so happy with this one. A lot of This Is Halloween vibes for this. My remix of This Is Halloween. I had a lot of vibes from that when I was making this one. I'm really proud of this section here. Did some minor bit crushing on the serum pluck. Build up. Okay, so his whole build up here took a while for me to figure out. Wasn't sure how to arrange this into an EDM song, or rearrange this into a DJ Joe song. So I used it as a build up, and then we dropped into the trap drop after that. So because this section in the original song is like it's in a completely different tempo than the original. It's kind of done. It's not a different tempo. It's just done. The notes are laid out to where it's not really assigned in a specific, like recognizable tempo as before. So I kind of just had to put it somewhere. I was trying to figure out how to arrange it into the song, and I felt like this is the best way for it to be in the song. And then for this next section, what this huge thing just built up into is a gigantic trap drop. So this trap drop, I took a lot of influences from Drolo, if you guys look up that artist, or just anyone who does kind of that weird, like kind of swung off timing, like even like John Bellion type stuff, like weird, like very ever so slightly off timing rhythms. I applied that aspect into the main melody of the Dance of the Sugar Plum Fairy and made a trap drop into it, and I'm really happy with how it sounds. It's so intense. It's so unnecessary. Hey, I found a way to use that that weird stare. And we build up again to the final part. Okay, this final section. I love it so much. So, new breakbeats. Super heavily distorted into boom. Oh, it's so good. Nothing much to say about this other than a bunch of breakbeats. Super aggressive. Distorted bass. Slow down. And I want to end it off on a little music box note because I feel like this song is very synonymous with the music box Christmas things. So, there we go. Dance with the Sugar Plum Fairy. Merry Christmas. Then we go into toss a coin to your witcher. Witcher. The only reason why I did this song is because of memes. So I haven't watched The Witcher yet. I'm planning on doing it sometime soon. But the only reason why I found this song is because I was on Facebook and I saw my friends were posting about The Witcher. They are reposting memes. Basically, it was like that one meme. Hold on, let me bring it up real fast. Hold on. I saw this meme. Let me look at it real fast. Okay, so I saw this meme on my timeline. When it comes for me looking at things that are popular, if you see a song that has this meme attached to it, then it's gonna blow up. At least when it's new. If you see this meme happen for it, it's gonna blow up. And I saw it, and it's blowing up. So I was like, hey, I gotta do it. So it took me like 2 days-ish to record and make the whole song because I needed to get this out as soon as possible because the sooner the better when it comes to these kind of things. And yeah, I just took a whole day, recorded all the vocals, took a whole other day to make the track itself, and then it took another day to finish up everything and master it and then release it. So, oh man, this one was like a speed run doing this track. But I made sure to put in a lot of things in there that I made sure not to like cut too many corners when it comes to making the song. Ooh. And if different things I haven't added in, like that little boom. I haven't used that sound in a while. I actually haven't used that. I don't think I used that sound before. But yes, this is my Witcher remix. I also added some subtitles at the bottom just so people could sing along. But let's go from the beginning again. Levels seem pretty solid. It's a little quiet though. Yeah, use the mandolin because I couldn't find a lute. Lute VSTs, they're not very popular, so I couldn't find one. Use the mandolin instead. I lowered the pitch a little bit for the mandolin because it was a little high, but that's fine. But now the vocals are a bit soft here. I thought they'd be okay because it sounds good within the Sennheisers, but when it comes to like normal consumers listening to it on their phone and other headphones, the volume of the vocals seems to be a bit low in this section. So that's just a mistake on my part. But as soon as the vocals go an octave higher instead of going down there, vocals are fine. I should have raised the vocals before in the first part, but that's okay. I was in a hurry. It's alright. So basically, add some trap drums in there, add some pads, and mandolin. That's the main of that. I wanted to build up into just the mandolin and the vocals here, just to like, hey, here's a shout out to the original song before I screw it up. But yes, right after this section here. Of plenty. We go right into it. A lot louder. Hey. So here, I decided to mess around with acid synth. So we hit a in the background of there. Like I really like acid synth. I've never really put it in my songs like a lot. And I decided to try to make my own version of it, and I couldn't really do it by just figuring it out myself. So I looked up some tutorials during making the song, and I was able to find a really good preset to edit around and make one of my own. And I added that in there. It was a nice little contrast over everything. I added a bunch of strings in there as well, and then a lead counter melody as soon as the regular melody was done. Adding a real drum set here, taking out the strings, having a regular build-up here. I felt like this build-up could have been a bit better. We did some ARPs here, and then we dropped it. That bass. Hey. I felt like the build-up to the triplet part could have been a bit better. But overall, I think it ended up being pretty solid as a rushed job. And here, a slower complextro is this is what you can describe it as. Hey. Adding elements of the little glitchy sections before this, and then adding chords in between. I thought was really cool contrast. Keeping the little triplet section here just to keep continuity. And the melodies, varying of the drums, and more variety. Let's go. Keeping the same beat as last time actually, but by emphasizing the melody up top, then build up, and then the trap drop. I honestly think this trap drop could get a bit longer here. Hey. Oh, I'm so proud of that. I'm so proud of that trap synth. It's so good. Trap, twerk. This song isn't 105. Like optimal twerking is 100. So like we can twerk. And then we got a melodic section over here. Oh yeah, let's go back a little bit. So this section right here, this introduction, the transition between this right here and the next section could have been done a lot better, honestly. But I think it isn't bad, but I feel like it could have been better. Melodic section, I'm really proud of this melody here. Didn't want to do too much with it. Just like straight, I wanted to make it like simple but effective here. More feelsy. And then I decided, you know what, fuck it, let's put that whole drop but over the words. And it ended up sounding really good. I didn't know if this chord section would work, and it did. Oh, it's so good. I had to change it here though, because the chords are too different here. Vocals are really drowned out in this section. I know it was a rush job. It's actually this song was kind of a bit hard to mix the vocals in general because it was really quiet in the beginning and it got louder towards the end. But so vary the bit over here compared to the drop in syncopation. And then this little bit over here and slow down, kind of indicative of the original. I don't think that's the right word to use, but similar to the original. And then I wanted the ending to be huge, just like how the original, like the have the dissonance notes everywhere in the original. I wanted that to kind of come out towards the end as well. And I think I did a good job. I probably could have added a bit more layers there, but I was really starving for time at this point because I had to upload it that day when I was finishing it. So, yes. Honestly, for a rush job, I think I did pretty solid. I've done worse things before. I rushed, but that's my Witcher remix. And really proud of that one. Towards the end, stuff like that. Could have been mixing better here and there. Some choices could have been done a bit better. But overall, I think I'm pretty proud of it. So I hope you guys like that one. It's a bit different. A bit different from what I usually do. But in the end, I'm happy I tackled the project. It was a cool challenge. And yes, hope you guys enjoy it. Alright, time for the next and final song of the year. Hey, so this song actually came out yesterday. And yeah, hilarious. I was actually working on this song a lot earlier in December. And it took me a bit to get this one finished. But the end result ended up being really nice. Like, I'm really happy with how this one turned out. Back with Will Stetson again. My man Will. And yes, he did a great job on the vocals. Really happy with them. And so let's start from the beginning. Some simple DJ Joe stuff, just some plucked chords. And we got an interesting plucked synth here. Into this. I kind of took inspiration from Virtual Self again for this little section here. Originally, it's like a jiggle-do, 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 jiggle, jiggle, jiggle-do, jiggle-do, kind of thing with the drums. But instead of doing that, I decided to do some rolling kicks. And then Virtual Self synth in the back. And drop. I'm really happy with this part right here. This part is so different. Like, I haven't done something like this where it's chords, plucks followed by chords, and then really fast hard pan melodies around that. Like, I honestly think this sounds really cool. And what really rounds it all out is the usage of the intense hi-hats I added in there. I'm really proud of those as well. Like, it ended up being such a cool sound. I think that this melody is completely original, nothing based off of the original. I wanted to do more melodic original things in this song because the original art was kind of a bit simple at parts. So I wanted to like expand on the melodic sections a bit more in the remix. Add that triplet section, added that in. This section I used, okay, so this section is cool. So the snare here was like that weird snare that I used in my Mob Psycho remix, but it was layered on top of another more traditional electronic snare. And it got a pretty cool layered sound between both of them, and I feel like that's a really interesting way to use that sample. Overall, this section ended up pretty cool. Changed the triplet towards the end. I added piano in there, along with the original melody in the beginning. And we got a build up. Do the same thing in the beginning. Keep continuity. Say bye. We got some happy hardcore. We got a pump fake drop. Hey, 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 hey. I love it. I haven't done like a pure happy hardcore in a while. Originally it wasn't like that. I spiced it up on stream, adding that little drum fill in there. I fucking love that drum fill. Oh, I love it. So nice. So good. Okay. I couldn't actually figure out what to add into this next part to really fill it out. So what I did was I actually added strings instead because the original had strings here. So adding the strings in there actually ended up making the section feel a lot more grand. So I really enjoyed that little happy accident I did there. And then we bring it back full circle. I love this little flam I did here. Not flam. Variation right there. I love that little variation. Ooh, oh man, I love it. Okay. This section here. We got a new synth I haven't used before. Doing the counter melody. Followed by the bass. This part right here is also entirely original to my remix. And this section is really cool. So this section we have a bunch of plucks happening along with the falling synths I did before. I love those. And a basic bass, so that it's more emphasis on the rhythms and in the falling synth. I love this section so much. I wasn't exactly sure what to do with this part, so I decided to try to emphasize the bass moving up, like over here, into this next little bridge. I love this bridge. This little bridge section is really cool. Happy hardcore back in it again. And I use a really heavily distorted lead to recreate what was happening in the original song. But just did a way more happy hardcore oriented bass line. Reverse and distort the piano up into this little build-up that we started in the beginning, but it builds up even more louder and even more higher. Oh, I love doing that. Hey, I wanted to do the science there to really emphasize the vocals coming in for the last chorus, and then this drop. Okay, so this drop right here, hard bass. Emphasis on strings instead of using, a synth for the chords. I thought that was a really cool idea here. Oh, that guy. And this section, this section is super extra. So this section, hold on. So it's already halftime. It goes even slower halftime. And we have triplets going on. Okay, so there's a lot of layers going on here. So we have hi-hats doing triplets along with the chords. The chords are actually strings. You can't really hear it that well, but the strings are doing dun, 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 matching the hi-hats. And meanwhile, the drums are straight. So the drums are going do catch do catch, and then the melody and the chords and the hi-hats are going digga 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 da. So it's two different styles in one in a halftime section on top of the vocals. So I just went a bit extra for that section. Right here. Hey, I didn't want to do that for too long because it could get a bit overwhelming, but I wanted to add that in there just for being extra. Ending song over here. All right, here we go. Okay, so if you listen carefully to this section here, hold on. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention. So I added my own melody here. I really like this. So listen to this kind of melody. And then variation. Oh, I love that. Last section, I added You Say Run. Of course, I haven't did You Say Run yet, but I wanted to add it into this song because I had a really cool idea for the drop. So I was so confused what to do for this drop. I wanted to do something huge, and I had a lot of ideas for what I wanted to do. And I decided to do something pretty crazy. So super hard distorted bass on each beat of the song, and then we got a lot of high-pitched kind of glitchy noises in between every single hard hit, and then we just kept varying on after that as the drop went on. And honestly, it's pretty damn extreme. It makes more sense when you look at the video because it's kind of like, oh, the bad guys are here. And it kind of like, oh shit, they're fucking up some shit. Oh no, the drop is crazy. It's too much for this song. That's kind of how what I was going for it. But honestly, it is a little bit out of place in my personal opinion. But I just had way too much fun making this section, and like I'm just way too proud of it to not include it in the song. I was worried about people not liking it, and for the most part, it's a pretty solid yes for people liking it in the comments and the reaction to it. So I'm really like thankful for people being more open-minded to these kind of styles. After this drop, we get the heroes coming back. Hey, oh man. Really love this section here. I haven't done a remix of this song yet. I need to. This is further proof that I need to. I don't know why I reviewed this song. This song was for January. Damn it. But yes, that is a year in review. And I forgot to do the end card. Alright guys. So yeah, I hope you guys like that different video format. I actually want to do more things with me on stream and making YouTube videos on them. Put some ideas in the comments if you have any cool ideas of what I could do, maybe reacting to some of my older stuff, or I don't know, maybe doing some tutorials. Be back with a new song on the 14th. We'll see you guys there. And yeah, thanks for all the support, and here's to a great 2020. Peace out, guys.